Summon Sign is brought to you by you. If you want to learn how to support our show, go to patreon.com/laststandmedia. Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 131 of Summon Sign, Last Stand Media's weekly in-depth game discussion podcast. I'm your host, as always, Brad Ellison. Joining me, of course, I got the big man himself, the big boss, Colin Moriarty. Colin, hello. How are you?
Big boss man.
Big boss man.
New Metal Gear Solid character. Big boss man.
It's like a mix between Fat Man and Big Boss.
Yeah, big boss man. How are you, man? I just finished mowing the lawn not 15 minutes ago.
Oh.
Jumped in the pool real quick to cool down. So
nice.
I was coming in hot. I didn't want to shower because after this I'm going to work out and then shower. I didn't want to shower twice.
I think that's
5 hours.
acceptable.
I think that's just too much.
Yeah, that's acceptable.
You know,
I like that.
If it was
It's
12
summer,
hours, 10 hours, I think it's a little different. But, this time around, and it's not so hot out where I wasn't dying. It's only 83, I think. So, and it's cloudy, but it's very humid.
Yeah, of course.
Very humid.
But you're living the summer lifestyle, and I like that. Mowing the lawn, then hopping in the pool, then doing work. That's great. I love that.
I didn't go to bed till 6 last night, so I was gonna get up at 2:30, and then I just woke up at like noon. So I'm like, let's just go and get, because I was gonna do it. I was gonna mow the lawn afterwards, but it's supposed to rain tonight, and then next week it's supposed to be in the high 90s or low hundreds for 4 or 5 consecutive days, and so I'm like, well, that's not gonna happen next week. So
No.
It's got to be now or never. And we're in a really bad, I don't know if Mike has told you, I don't know why it would come up, but we're in a really bad drought. And they're starting to really sound the alarms. Like it just doesn't rain.
Oh,
and it's just it rains, but you know how you have a rainy, well, you don't really know because you're in Southern California, but you have like a rainy day or a rainy few days and it just rains. And I don't remember the last time that's ever happened. Like it pours for like 10 minutes at a time and then it's clear again. And it's fucking 95 degrees out. And they say we need 10 to 12 inches of rain to catch up, to be where we need to be, which is enormous amounts of rain. So,
well, yeah, Southern California, we're always in a drought.
Yep.
No matter what, there's always some emergency about water.
I'm not even sure what Southern California is doing anymore with the water, because I didn't know until I lived in Santa Monica that Southern California gets the ass end of the Colorado River water, and so do you have really hard water?
I think so.
Yeah, we in Santa Monica, the water was so hard that it was fucking crazy. It would stain the glass in your shower permanently.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't even scrub it with anything or scrape it. And
brutal.
It was just, it was great. Southern California is the only place where I wouldn't drink the tap water.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I would.
Here I drink it. I drink it in San Francisco. Drink it in Boston, New York. Not here though, or not there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like a third world country over here, dude.
Yeah,
with our
getting
water.
pretty close.
It's ridiculous. Fucking sucks. But it's funny you're saying how I don't know if Micah would have brought that up on the show. Colin, you're married to her. All sorts of random shit gets brought up on that show. Too much.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, she's a lot. I was telling her this. I'm like, your interests are one iota, 1 millimeter away from me telling you get for your birthday, let's get you a sewing machine.
Yeah.
Let's get you a vacuum. Let's get you some new, she asked for a rotisserie.
Yeah, that's what she said. Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, and then I ate rotisserie chicken the other day. And I'm like, I really don't understand how this is this benefits me more than anyone.
I know.
All of it. She's like, oh, I want to get a new thing. And I'm like, dude, get whatever you, and she's like, should I have another this? And I'm like, I get whatever you want.
I know. It's rough getting her to buy something, I would say, selfishly for herself. I mean, me and Jean tried to convince her to get a Steam Deck a while ago. And now she's thinking about a Steam machine. When she told me she was kind of thinking about it, I was like, what?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think she's in between a rock and a hard place because...
Oh, she got abandoned, yeah.
She's an Xbox person. And I think she's making the wise choice of being there's really no reason for... Especially if you're still on Game Pass or whatever, I guess it's fine. But she's not. And why would you really buy your a la carte games there anymore? It really doesn't compute. So I feel for her because... Shit, it's a situation I almost found myself in a month or so ago when I thought I was going to lose my PSN account. I'm like, well, I'm not doing this again. So I guess I got to go to Steam as well because I'm not going to Xbox.
Yeah.
I'll go back and become a Nintendo fanboy again. That would probably be the most easiest way to default.
Damn.
It would be hard for me to even fake at this
Punching
point.
up would be very funny if you were a permanent person on that show. You just can sacred symbols, and that's the new thing.
Yeah, that would be great for the business. We would all be done. No offense to the other shows, but
no, yeah,
we need sacred symbols to
flagship
to prop everything up, or otherwise, we are ships adrift at sea. But anyway, she brings up a lot of weird shit, and she's a very weird person, but very endearing, and we love her very much. But so the rotisserie thing's been really nice because it's like, God, she just has a bunch of like, our whole Harry Potter closet in our kitchen is like just covered in. We have like a fucking deli slicer and like,
she loves all that.
Three crock pots and literally 3 crock pots. It's just so much shit, and I'm like, and then I just get to eat it all. It's great.
Yeah,
I love it.
It is nice. You know, it's not nice though. I was playing Star Fox yesterday on stream.
Oh boy,
she was in there, and she was talking about how hot Star Wolf is.
Oh,
and I was like, oh boy, here we go.
We're
going to furry territory.
Now we have to deal with this nonsense. Yeah, I think she was playing Star Fox last night, but I wasn't really paying attention. Yeah, she's a strange sort of cat, but she means well.
She does. She means very well. A lovely person, insane person.
Yeah, she's
a lovely person.
Yeah, she is
nonetheless. All right. Oh, first of all, how are the pups?
Oh, pups, good, very good.
Okay.
They're hanging in there. It's hot out, so they're lazy as it is, and now they don't really want to do anything. And
right,
like I can get Rush to go on walks with me for a little bit, but like he's even when I like, you want to go for a walk, buddy, and he like won't even move now. So yeah, they're kind of in the doldrums of summer, and we had people over last week. So weekend we had like 16 or 17 people over, and I felt bad for them because they can't really stay outside with us, and because they overheat. And they're fine though. They're good puppies.
That's good. You gotta get like a fan just pointing on them.
Yeah, they really. It's funny, man. Like every Boston I've known to is just so unique and different. And like my Boston that I had with my ex was like crazy and like would go for walks and like kill herself if she had to like be outside and like and then these guys just like you can't even. I just assumed all Bostons were like that, and I'm like, oh, like they're crazy and they like to play and be active, but I'm like, don't you want to go somewhere and like do anything? Aren't you bored? And the answer was no, because I feel bad for them. But they seem like totally content. Like,
they're happy. They like it.
Yeah,
dogs like lounging around.
Because I'm outside for maybe even hours a day now, gardening and doing all that kind of stuff. Man, we got so many things going. I'll tell you.
Yeah,
we got.
Do you have a fence outside so they can run around?
Yeah, we have a fence. Okay. Not in the front yard, but in the backyard. We have a. We're not allowed to have privacy fences in our neighborhood, but I have a 5-foot metal fence. It's like a kind of a flimsy aluminum number.
Put the fence up. Get the fence.
So Treble can fit through the fence if she runs through it.
Oh, man.
Like she like puts her, she's crazy. Like she has no regard for herself at all. It's actually quite interesting. So that's a little bit dangerous. But yeah, I'm out there. We got so many things going. We got the
what's going on?
We got the rose bushes going. We got some beautiful rose bushes going on. We have a whole line of lantana going. We got some beautiful orange milkweed going. We got some zinnias. The azaleas are really popping this year. The marigolds, the blooms on the marigolds, because I've been fertilizing the shit out of my annuals. I'm afraid to fertilize the perennials because you can kind of fuck them up, and who cares about the annuals really? They're going to die anyway. And man, when Miracle Grow tells you like the blooms will be bigger, and I'm like, you weren't fucking kidding. So I'm doing that. I aerated all the plants the other day. You have to take a little chopstick, just kind of poke around to make sure they can get the water into the roots and. Yeah, so we have a lot of things. I got these firecrackers going, these beautiful red firecrackers going around the mailbox. They're really happy there. Everything's. I got a lot of stuff going right now. It's I got Gerber daisies going. I got Shasta daisies going, which are not, they're perennial, but I might pull them. A lot of things going on. It's very complex right now in the yard. Like it really does. Like, and it's so hot here. Like I have to be out there every day.
I was going to ask about watering.
Like we have a universal drip feed.
That's the way. Gotta have the drip.
But the problem with this is, and this was my own fault, is like I didn't have them zone the drip. I didn't want to pay for them to zone the drip feed like a bunch of different ways. So I just had a drip feed installed in the backyard, and we have a line of arborvitaes big evergreens,
Mhm.
you know, on the back end to like make cover, and they're growing slowly and it's working. But we had 12 of them. I think 7 of them had to be replaced because they were getting too wet. And so I was like, so they're like, cut the drip feed, like don't use the drip feed anymore. I'm like, like, okay, but like I gotta like, so I almost want to like dam up where the arborvitaes, and we have like these green emeralds that don't really need so much water as well. Anyway, what I've realized is like, I've never, you know, people are like, what are your hobbies? You know, like, what are you into? And I'm like, oh, I like video games. I like, you know, I like to read. I like sports. I like, you know, things of this nature. But I'm like a gardening guy now.
Yeah.
A little
you
weird.
are.
Like I've always liked it. And I've always liked landscaping. I like mowing the lawn.
Mhm.
I love doing little crisscrosses on the lawn and like weed whacking and making it all perfect. But I never really considered that. I'm like, wow, I'm actually like kind of like a novice gardener, I guess, of some, or
Yeah.
like, you know, an amateur gardener. Because I never really had a place to do it. And I have my indoor plants going too. I have like 8 or 10 really great indoor plants going right now as well. Every time we go to Lowe's or Home Depot, I just buy a random plant and for the inside, for the indoors. And then got a bunch of soil in the garage. And yeah, I'm always, you know, so it's a good analog hobby. And my neighbors even noticed, they're like, wow, you're like always out here. I'm like, yeah, it's good.
Yeah, it is
know?
good. That's cool, dude.
I'm getting
like
sunburned the fucking hell. I mean, as you can see, this is when I start looking really Mediterranean.
Yeah, starts kicking in once a year.
But then I'll look gaunt and fucking ghastly in 6 months again.
Yeah, your Italian side's in right now. Back to Irish, though.
It's interesting, dude. I was in the pool. We have these new coping put around the pool. So I was like scrubbing it with like Dawn soap and like a sponge from the pool. So I'm like in the pool and doing it. And I felt it. I'm like, oh, my back's getting like really hot, you know, because my back. And then I went in and I was like totally sunburned. Now I've been sunburned a million times way worse than this. So I'm not making it seem like it, but it's so funny the way, like, I guess my Italian side, or like the Mediterranean blood kicks in, where I'm like, that sunburn was gone and a fucking suntan in like one day, literally one day. Micah's like, dude, what happened to the sunburn? And I'm like, it's gone.
It's gone.
It's gone. But it's what I say. Like, I don't know if your parents were the same, but like, I shit you not, my parents never told me to put suntan lotion on. Not even one time in my entire
mine
life.
did.
Never.
Yeah, mine did.
Oh yeah,
always.
no, never.
Damn.
And it's what I always say. Like, no one ever told me to drink water.
That's funny.
I don't think my parents
told
even
you to drink water.
I think you're young enough to remember, or old enough to remember, certainly, and your brother definitely. Like, people didn't buy water. And
it was not a thing as much.
Yeah, it wasn't a thing. Like, I remember in 1992, I think we got the Poland Spring. Like, Poland Spring's kind of like Arrowhead in California. Is like the thing that they deliver, like the big bottles, and you get the little dispenser. And that was like a huge deal. Everyone's like, what is this? And I remember watching like Seinfeld and other things when I was a kid, and like, they were drinking bottled water. And I'm like, what is that?
Yeah.
It just wasn't, you had like bubbly water, like, you know, Pellegrino or whatever the fuck they call Pellegrino or whatever they call it. But it's just, I don't know. Like, so we used to drink like lemonade and like country time iced tea and lemonade and like, Sunny D's gross. But yeah, if I was at a friend's house, I would rather just drink OJ personally. You know, that, and even Coke and Pepsi. Yeah. Dude, Pepsi was like 50 cents a fucking 2 liter when I was like in elementary school. Straight up.
Yeah.
I think my parents were like, yeah, just drink this. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
And then and none of us were fat. You know, all of us gained weight as we got older.
Yeah, that just happens.
Dagan's the only one. Like, my sisters have kind of nipped it in the bud. My brother definitely had, because he got paranoid because he had like pre-diabetes and he almost fucking lost his mind.
Oh, okay.
And then I got really paranoid. I don't know if the audience remembers that, because that was like a whole knockback like line of like thing where I was like, so like I watched Dagan like a hawk.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, you're 11 years older than me. We have the same parents. What's happening to you is probably going to happen to me, or I have a good chance. And so like he had like a fatty liver, and then he got like, but he used to eat like shit. And he's not even like a fat dude, and he was never really fat.
He's not. Yeah.
He was just like, I know, like he used to hide McDonald's like from his wife. Like he would like, and she like would like find a receipt or something like that.
So funny.
And he and I used to go to McDonald's when I was a kid all the time. It was like our favorite. Mickey D's, our favorite.
Mickey D's, McDonald's used to be so much better. I feel like
so good, dude. It
was like a treat back then. I was like, oh, sweet McDonald's.
It really was.
Now,
like,
I'm like never like amped about McDonald's, like ever. I'll get it once in a while, but I don't really crave it.
Yeah, like I've said, the audience knows I've said a million times, like we have like the awesome McDonald's in my area, which is like crazy. It's like the best McDonald's ever.
Cool. Dude,
Like
that is
just
the best
straight
feeling.
up. It's crazy. Like I don't know what they're doing. And people have pointed out, like even the review on Yelp is not even good. And I'm like, I don't know, man. I'm just telling you, I've eaten there probably, I've lived here, 6.5 years. I've probably eaten there, I don't know, 40 times or 50 times, something like that. The most. And I'm like, it's always good. It's always, the fries are always great, nice and salty. Like they have like a thing going there. You got to get the good one. But it's funny when you're a younger kid. Like I remember it would be a treat like once or twice a month. Like you're saying, I was like, oh, let's go get Chinese food, or let's go get pizza, or let's go get McDonald's or whatever. And it was like everything. It was like the best. And then as you get older and you get, so I remember when I was a teenager in like high school, we would start going on our own, like when we got our cars and like had money working, and that was fun. And you would like switch it up a little bit and get things that maybe your family wouldn't get. Like I would get Taco Bell a lot because like my family didn't want Taco Bell.
Yeah.
And then when you get older and you have money and you can eat out whenever you want. Yeah. I mean, like that's been true for both of us, since my early 20s. It starts to actually lose its luster, and then I just don't eat out anymore.
Yeah. I mean, you got like a deluxe chef you're living with, cooking stuff all the time.
I do, helps. But I want to say this. This is an important thing for me to say, and I think Micah would admit this too, is like, I actually can cook. I'm actually pretty good at it. Ooh. And I've just become lazy. Like, I think when Micah and I started dating, she was surprised that I knew what to do.
In the kitchen,
and I was telling her, I'm like, if you like, everyone should, you can give me a piece of meat and like some accoutrements. It's like, here's like a whole chicken. Here's like some thyme and onion, some spices. What are you going to do? It's like, I don't know. You fucking roast it. Like,
right.
I think a lot of it is mind over matter for people. Like, it's not that hard. It's not that hard to cook an egg. It's not that hard to cut an onion. It's not that hard. Like, it's not that hard to cook a steak. It's not that hard to, and I think I just learned because I was alone so much when I was a kid. I think I just learned how to take care of myself. So I cooked for myself before I ever knew Micah, pretty much every day. But there's no doubt that she's better than me, and it's much nicer to have someone else cook for you.
Of course. Yeah.
But I'm just not, I just want to make it clear, I'm not one of those guys.
That can't,
like it almost takes pride in it in a way. I'm like, no, I can cook.
I can cook a little bit too. Yeah, I'm not like amazing or anything like that, but I can get it done. I can feed myself. So, but yeah, I know some people that definitely didn't know what to do whatsoever. Whatever. And nowadays it's so fucking easy. You just throw everything in like an air fry and you're good to go.
Yeah, and it's like it's different than like I don't bake. I don't want to bake. Baking's a totally different thing. Cooking is an instinctual thing. What
about like breakfast? Did you ever make pancakes?
Oh yeah, I love breakfast.
Hell yeah.
It's funny, when I was a kid, it was like my mom would always cook, but she would always default to my dad for breakfast because my dad picked up a lot of these techniques at the firehouse in New York City where they would make like these community breakfasts. So because I used to go in with him sometimes when he was on light duty and he knew he wasn't going to get pulled in. So like if they were having family breakfast or family lunch or family dinner, I would have it with them. And they would make like the fucking dude, like just the most simple things like peppers and eggs, pepper and eggs or whatever. And it's like, damn, dude. So like they would always call him in, like he was coming in from the bullpen for a Saturday breakfast. It's like, Dad's going to make the pancakes. He's going to make the French toast. He's going to do all these things. But dude, I love breakfast food. It's just like, I eat eggs a lot. I eat eggs probably 3 or 4 times a week. I eat them at like 2 in the morning though. I'll make like 4 or 5 eggs and like wrap them in a tortilla or whatever.
Oh, it's like a little breakfast burrito. That's cool.
Yeah. Or even like I used to make like kind of a bootleg, what do they call it? Rancheros or whatever.
Yeah.
Where you like put the refried beans and like the salsa verde and all that kind of stuff. God, Mexican food's good.
It sure is. Yeah. Tell you what,
God bless the Mexicans.
God bless them.
For real, dude. Love the Mexicans.
Yeah, absolutely.
They have a lot of good things going on over there in Mexico.
We were talking about food stuff when it was special when you were a kid, Colin. Let me ask you about this. I don't know if you're too old. I don't know. Maybe this was a thing for you as well. Chuck E. Cheese.
We had one, I never went on my own volition, but I was invited to parties there. Like when you were a kid and you go to a birthday party. Yeah. We had a thing called Spaceplex. I think that's what it was called. Solarplex? No, I think it was Spaceplex. And it was kind of like a one-off, really nice thing on Long Island. I don't know if it exists.
I'm looking this up right now.
Oh, did you find it? Let's.
Oh, dude, I found something.
Spaceplex, Long Island. Yeah, it comes up when you search for it. A brief history of time and Spaceplex, the rise and fall of Long Island's most storied indoor amusement park. Yeah, this was it. So this, like, I had a couple of parties in elementary school here. Oh my God, the coin! They have a picture of the coin. I remember this. Holy shit,
dude, this is sick.
Dude, it was super cool. But I haven't been there in since 1993 or something like that. So I don't know.
Yeah,
But yeah, so Chuck E. Cheese was fine, but it was not my thing. I liked Solarplex or Spaceplex. I guess it was called Spaceplex.
mm-hmm. Dude. Okay, so we had Chuck E. Cheese a little bit. I used to go with like my cousin and stuff, but we had something called Bullwinkles, which
I remember
was
that.
Rocky and Bullwinkle, pretty much. It was a little better, I think, because Chuck E. Cheese, they were creepy. They had like the shows and all that kind of shit. Those guys are freaks.
Yeah, it was like the animatronic stuff. It was a little old. It felt a little 70s almost.
It felt like the 70s from like the 90s.
Dude, I remember was Bullwinkles cool. Was that mini golf?
To me, for us, I think they had mini golf, but it like the one I went to was like Chuck E. Cheese, pretty much.
Let me see.
They probably had it by areas that had mini golf and stuff, though.
Bullwinkle's Family Food and Fun was a popular 1990s family entertainment center in Medford, New York. Yeah, so this is what I was thinking. Featuring go-karts, mini golf, and animatronics. Rebranded as Boomers in 1999, the park closed permanently in 2019, and the property was eventually vacant.
Yep.
So I think they might be unrelated, but that's what I was thinking. Bullwinkle, yeah.
No. Because I remember there's a Bullwinkles where there is a Boomers now by me.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I guess it's the same thing. So yeah, ours was like, I remember it was like very outdoors. And yeah, Medford is kind of like a very working class, middle class place. So I used to, even in high school, I would like BMX with my friends to it, and we would just stick around there and play. I love mini golf.
Cool. Yeah, mini golf is fun, dude.
Mini golf's so good.
I would love if we were all together one time, have a mini golf tournament or a bowling tournament.
I would take it so seriously too.
It'd be so fun, dude.
Like, I love bowling. I was talking to Micah about it. I was a pretty good bowler when I was a kid. My dad and I used to bowl a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But I had this last time I bowled, or one of the last times I bowled, I was with my friend Nate in Seattle. He used to work at Xbox. He worked at IGN for many years. That's how I know him. And I went and visited him and his wife, and we went bowling. And I had this like conundrum. It's very similar to how when Destiny 1 came out, I've told the story about how when Destiny 1 came out, I forgot how to play first person shooters for like weeks. Like I couldn't, like I didn't like. Inverting the axis didn't feel right anymore, and then when I would uninvert it, it wouldn't feel right, and I was like totally brain broken. It was weird. I've told the story about how I had to go to Ubisoft in San Francisco at that time to go play Far Cry 4, and I looked like a fucking retard because I was trying to tell them, I'm like, dude, I'm all messed up right now. Like, I don't know what's going on in my brain, and they were like looking at me like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? Like, and
that's awesome, dude.
So wait, I distracted myself. What I was saying something about. Wow, what was I saying? It doesn't matter. Right?
Bowling.
Oh, bowling. So yeah, I was at my friend Nate's, and I had this that's what it was. I have a very similar conundrum where I do all my sports left-handed, but I started bowling right-handed, and I was killing it, and I was like, what? He's like, when you're bowling with your left hand, you're twisting your wrist a little bit, and I'm like, yeah, I've always bowled with my left arm.
Yeah.
And then I just started bowling with my right arm, and I just started like, and I was like, what?
That's so weird. That's like exactly me, because I bowl left-handed, and I think I twist a little bit. Next time I go bowling, whatever the hell that's going to be, I want to try with my right hand and see how it goes.
Yeah, I think I've since reverted to my left hand as I've bowled since, because I bowled a few times here. I love to bowl. Like, that's a really, bowling's a great game.
It's really fun.
I love all sports, really.
Yeah. Oh, we were talking about Chuck E. Cheese, Bullwinkles. I want to bring this up to you. By us, Colin, we had Sega City. Have you ever heard of those?
No.
It was like a Sega arcade. It was at the Irvine Spectrum. Big. Here, I'll send you just a little picture of it right here.
Yeah, please.
But I forgot. It was gone pretty early on, I feel like. Like when I was still young, it went away.
That sign. Yeah, that sign is 1991.
Yeah. Like how crazy is that, dude? Sega City. Like,
yeah, that's cool. They were probably trying to segue to what they do in Japan.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if they do it so much anymore, but I mean, if you go to Akihabara even or whatever.
I think that big arcade shut down in Japan, I think.
Yeah, like the iconic one with the huge logo on it. It was open when I was there at least once because I feel like I went to it. But yeah, I think it is since shut down. Well, it's very similar. Konami does the same shit, although it is not like this. It's like a health and spa thing. Like their whole business is weird if you look into it. Actually, Tecmo Koei, I think, is the same way. They have a bunch of weird shit. And you even saw it with companies like Sony. Like Sony had a bunch of investments in Sony was heavily vested in finance. And they spun that off over the last few years. So I think a lot of these companies are in all sorts of weird shit. But yeah, they were probably literally just trying to replicate. I appreciate their aggression. Like Nintendo wasn't aggressive at all, which was weird at that time. Like you'd think they were aggressive with some licensing, and they had a lot of dubious weird shit going on at that time. But like they never really tried to Disneyfy themselves, and they probably. It's interesting that they never even really tried to hitch themselves to someone else to Disneyfy them for them. And I think that's what when Microsoft wanted to buy Nintendo in the 90s, I think that was kind of like the reverse idea for them.
I think, well, they did the movie, the 90s movie, and it probably scared them off, the live action Mario movie.
Oh, the Mario movie, yeah. Well, The Wizard, too, was earlier than that. And that was, like, you're right in that. I feel like in the late 80s, they kind of had it. They had that weird...
the Mario show, too.
Right, I was going to say the live action show. Right,
and then... Captain N,
right? And then The Wizard, which was, we just watched The Wizard on Knockback a few months ago. I hadn't seen it in years, but that movie is fucking awesome. Like an awesome piece of Nintendo nostalgia, like amazing levels of Nintendo nostalgia. And yeah, I think the Mario movie, did scare the shit out of them. I mean, when you read about it, one of the actors in the Mario movie, like, said he didn't even know it was a video game.
Damn, dude.
Like, it's like, how what? Like, that was how disconnected. They didn't know what to do. It's funny when you look back at it. Like, they actually could have conquered this way earlier than they did. They just didn't know what to do. Because you had like great sci-fi or great even children's fantasy. Like, think about like The Never-Ending Story or like Labyrinth. Think about the animated features at the time, like Land Before Time, All Dogs Go to Heaven, leading into like the Disney resurgence with Little Mermaid in, I guess, 89 and so on. There was like a lot of good shit going on. For some reason, like they just didn't do it. Like they could have made like this amazing thing. It's the same thing with the Ruby Spears Mega Man cartoon in the mid 90s. Like that was pretty good, but it wasn't. I remember like we didn't know what the fuck was going on at that time in 1994 or whatever. And I was like 10 years old, and then I just turned on the TV one day. I'm like, there's a fucking Mega. Like I almost couldn't believe it. I'm like, what is this? Then you go into Toys R Us and you start fighting the toys, and you're like, they were that close. You know what I mean? So it's close. Just funny. It's just funny to see like these different things erupt over time.
Man, so close. All right. Hey everybody. If you want to support us, go to patreon.com.
Shut the fuck up.
No, dude, I love it. I could go on for more. I almost started talking about Three Ninjas, but I'm like, all right.
Oh, dude, the funny thing about Three Ninjas is that I saw Three Ninjas in the theater in your neck of the woods.
Really?
Yeah, in 1992, I guess it was, right? Something like that.
Really? Yeah.
My parents had just gotten divorced, and my Uncle Michael, not Uncle Mike that always comes up with it, my dad's brother lived in. He's retired now, but he was like a bigwig at FedEx, and so they would send him like all around. And he lived in LA for years, and
cool.
And we went and visited him, and I went and saw that.
That's sick, dude.
In the theater with my cousins, and then we went to Toys R Us, and I bought Flak Viper. I'll send you a picture because this guy was awesome. I'll find him for you. It's funny that I remember this stuff so well.
Oh, it's a G.I. Joe. I was like, what the fuck's Flak Viper?
Yeah. It's just funny to. Yeah,
that is tight.
It's this dude who's like one of the great G.I. Joes of that era. So yeah, funny memories of that.
Well, this guy's
and
crazy.
He lived in Orange County and he worked out of LA. I think he had to go there a couple times a week and he was flying all around. So yeah, they lived in a nice little house out there, and yeah, it's funny.
Yeah, damn, dude. Yeah, I love that movie. It's so good, dude. I love the villain in it, Snyder.
Yeah.
So funny. The quintessential 90s villain. It's got like the slick back ponytail, the suit and everything, like the bigger suit. Oh, it's so good.
What was it about these movies? They're products of I guess the Goonies kind of started it in a way.
Yeah.
But like, there was like a 15-year run of like movies where it's like the kids are like badass and doing things, and like Home Alone is the quintessential version of that. But like, it doesn't seem like those pictures really exist anymore. There's obviously kids. Child heroes like Harry Potter, and but it's not like I always think about like Blank Check. You know, like a movie like that.
He had the slide in his house, right? In that movie,
right? And
it
was like,
that was so cool.
And it was like a huge there's huge Apple advertisements all over it.
Yeah.
If you like go back and watch it, because remember his name was Mr. Macintosh, or like the fake boss. And I just think about that all the time of like kids doing shit. In a darker way, like Stand By Me, or I don't know. I'm not that familiar with cinema obviously anymore, so maybe there's a lot of movies like that, but it just doesn't feel like it. Stranger Things was kind of like that.
Yeah,
which was I think kind of appealing about it.
Yeah. Surf Ninjas. I don't know if you remember that.
I remember Surf Ninjas, of course.
One of the kids had a Game Gear in it, I believe. And I was like, whoa, at the time.
I love little things like that. Yeah.
And, fuck, I just forgot what it was called. But yeah, something else with kids. Oh, dude, Spy Kids was kind of like that, I guess.
I was thinking that. Like, that was a little after my time.
Yeah.
You're more in that age. You're more in that age range.
No, I was a little too old for it, but I remember it.
So then I was way too old for it. Because I feel like I remember it coming out when I was in high school. And I feel like if I was in middle school, I would have been into it. You know?
Spy Kids. Yeah, when did the first Spy Kids movie come
I'm
out?
going to say 2000. That might be way too early.
2001. No, you're
Yeah.
close.
How the fuck? Why did I even know that?
I mean, I was a ninth grader at that point.
Yeah,
I
so
was in
that's
high
that. You're
school.
a little too. Yeah, you're just missing. Like
Yeah, I missed the. If I was like fifth grader or sixth grader, dude, I
Yeah.
probably would have gone hard.
Oh, definitely. I mean, I was into things that I shouldn't have been into for forever. So,
Yeah.
but I had a little bit of shame at that point. I guess I would go. I wouldn't watch Spy Kids, but I would go home and watch Arthur after TV after school on TV.
Dude, Arthur, your big double D stand or whatever.
Oh
her
hell
name
yeah,
was.
Double D.
Double D, yeah.
DW is her name.
DW. Oh, I was thinking of Ed and Eddie. That's why.
It's funny that Double D thing has come up in the past. I think on Sacred Symbols, and we were all cracking up because it's like, imagine Arthur's little sister's name was Double D.
Double D. Yeah.
That's perverse.
That is perverse. Patreon.com/lastdaymedia if you'd like to support us, get early ad-free access to all of our shows. We couldn't do it without you guys over there, so thank you very much for your support. We appreciate it. Also, if you want some merch, laststandmedia.store, you can get some merch sent to you from Micah or via Micah from the Moriarty household. So help them clear some space over there.
Yeah, no, please fucking. I mean, we're gonna have to get. I'm gonna order Saint Slayer in the next few weeks once our ESRB rating is allowed to go through at a discount, and because we waited 90 days, which is why we're doing that. It sucks because if we were a bigger developer, we would have already gotten this going. But it's like I don't want to waste $3,000 or $4,000 fast tracking our ESRB rating. So, God, the house is gonna be full of fucking nonsense. Buy our merch, please. Thank you.
Buy merch. Colin, if we ever have a very slow week and we need a Sacred Symbols Plus, 3 Ninjas.
Three Ninja Sacred Symbols. There is a 3 Ninjas game, isn't there?
There is a game. We'll do the movie and the game. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, that would be actually kind of interesting to do. I never played the 3 Ninjas game. It's an SNES Genesis thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
It must be.
It's probably just like a side scroll beat 'em up, like all those games. Shout out.
I had an eye even as a kid where I'm like, I'm not playing this licensed trash. Even I remember even with Batman on NES, which is an exceptional game. It was like, or DuckTales. It's like you kind of knew these were the exception.
Capcom, baby.
Yeah.
What was Batman? Was that Acclaim?
Sunsoft.
Sunsoft. Sunsoft.
Sunsoft was out of their fucking
Sick
minds.
name, dude.
Yeah, it's like they had fucking Blaster Master going. They had Fester's Quest going. They had Journey to Silius going. They had a lot of good.
Mm-hmm.
They were like a really, really good publisher. They still exist. They put out something recently. They put out like random small things now, but they were great.
I wouldn't be surprised if they were under Atari's banner.
Yeah, they'll go buy Sunsoft. That would be pretty cool.
That would be sick. All right, Colin. A couple weeks ago on the show, we did your favorite SNES games for each year. We're gonna do that again. I've done this with some other people. I did. What did I do? I did PS1, I think, with Chris. So we're gonna do
that. Should be an interesting
Vita
list.
games.
Yeah.
Yes. Some guy was like, "Why didn't you do Xbox 360 with Chris? Give it time. No rush here, right?"
Yeah.
Guys?
What's the rush? Nice and slow.
No rush. Take our time. All right. But we're gonna do Vita games because Colin, a big Vita stan.
Oh yeah.
Loved the Vita. I remember even back in the day him saying how much he loved it. So I enjoyed the Vita as well. I wasn't a super fan, but I did like it. I have mine still. I had the white one.
Yeah, that's a nice one.
Assassin's Creed.
Right, Assassin's Creed Liberation. Right.
Came with it. Okay game, whatever. But the
Vita
Vita
it was in hindsight, like there is a port that they ported it to PS3 and then I think they ported it to PS4.
Yeah, that sounds right.
It was good. I mean, it was fine. It was cool.
Mm-hmm.
What I appreciate about Ubisoft is that like they are often there at the beginning of a console's or a handheld's life cycle. Like they're always willing to do something, and I think that that's kind of cool because there's a boldness to that.
Yeah, they're always like ready to support new hardware, which I think is cool. Definitely. All right, so we're gonna start with 2012. Colin, what is your favorite game on the Vita from 2012?
So I have we pulled up a list because I'm like, I need a list to make sure I'm not missing anything. And 2012 is going to be pretty hard because there are a lot of really, really wonderful games in 2012. And 2012 is obviously, so the handheld comes out in 2011 in Japan in December, but it doesn't come out until February the next year for us. And there are some fairly, in my opinion, iconic things, including in 2012, including things that didn't necessarily get great reviews for whatever reason, which is disappointing. So I think about games that you would definitely want to throw out, like Escape Plan, I thought was pretty great. Unit 13, I thought was pretty great. There's a really good Plants vs. Zombies port, actually, from Sony Online that I think we at IGN had a lot to do with them getting going. And I don't know if people remember because we were like begging for it. I don't know if people remember, and people will be like, "That's outrageous." It's like, no, Greg got a sucker punch to change Cole's design in Infamous too. So, yeah, there were some interesting things. I don't know if you remember that.
I remember the whole like drama around his design. Yeah,
and then
he had,
they like
hair and everything,
and they redesigned. Like Greg got them to put him back.
That's
it's like
crazy.
really, really funny.
Yeah.
I'll always remember that. That's such a funny story. But when you're getting into like the real meat of things, so like you got to give a shout out to Super Stardust Delta. Wonderful, wonderful game. Arguably the best version of Super Stardust. And you got to give a shout out to Sound Shapes. Now, Sound Shapes is on PS4 and PS3 as well, but it was best on Vita, I thought. And that was the first, people might remember that was the first game that allowed you to pop platinums automatically by sending the saves between the versions. And so we all did that, and that because it was a novel thing. And then when it became corny, everyone stopped doing it. It's like, it's not fun anymore now. It seems a little cheap.
Right.
There's that really great port of Rayman Origins.
Yep.
That also deserves a lot of credit. But it comes down to two games, in my opinion. And Gravity Rush comes out that year, too. I'm not a huge Gravity Rush fan, but I know that that's a very well-respected game. I think it comes down to Uncharted Golden Abyss and Persona 4 Golden. I think while Vita was around, I would have absolutely chosen Uncharted. I didn't play Persona 4 until 2019, I want to say, something like that. So it was a long, but when I did, I was like, wow, what a fucking amazing game. So it's one of those two. I'll go with Persona 4 probably, I guess, would be like the wisest answer. But I think you can really be good with either Persona 4 or Uncharted. And I do think Uncharted Golden Abyss is underrated. And I'm also surprised that Sony's never liberated it from Vita. I don't know if it's because they don't want to like acknowledge it. I don't know if it's because it's a prequel. Amy co-wrote it. I think John Garvin obviously wrote most of it and directed it, but it is kind of weird. It's probably their most consequential locked away game. Maybe that's crazy to say. There's got to be others, but it's certainly got to be one of them.
Yeah, I mean, it's a huge game. It is kind of annoying. It's still stuck in Vita jail after all these years.
And I understand not liberating it at that time. It sold a couple million units. It might have sold like 3 million or something like that. I think the numbers were actually in the Insomniac leak, but I don't recall for sure. So it sold appreciably, but it was not. Yeah, it's weird because it is a really cool game, and there's a lot of Sully in it, and like it's neat.
Yeah, definitely worth playing. It's my least favorite out of them, but it's definitely worth playing still.
Yeah, I think that's fair. It's probably also my least favorite.
Yeah, I mean, because 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 is my personal favorite, I think, but I haven't played through all of them in so long, so I don't know. All right, 2013, Colin.
This is, again, a tough one because there's a lot of cool shit coming out in 2013. The releases start slowing down and they start kind of, I mean, they've always relied on third parties for their handhelds, but this is where I think for the most part, third parties step up. So we talked about Rayman Origins earlier. You have Rayman Legends, which is a really good port. You have the original Guacamelee, which is also on PS3, but that game is exceptional. You have probably one of the most underrated games of that entire generation, even on console, which is Velocity Ultra. That also obviously gets a sequel later in Velocity 2X, which people really like. And of course, what's the game they make now? Brad, do you know it off the top of your head?
No.
It's a big one. It's a huge one.
Huge one.
It's a huge game. Power Wash Simulator.
Oh, that's them?
Yeah.
What a shift.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? Hotline Miami, I think, was ported to Vita at this point because it came out on PC in 2012, I think, but this is when it started migrating. East Memories of Celceta was pretty good. So in the first party, I would give a shout out to Killzone Mercenary, which is
I had fun with that game.
Easily the best first person shooter. I mean, not that there's that many of them. There's a handful of them, but easily the best first person shooter on the console or on the handheld. And I really, really love that game, actually. I think that game's awesome. Soul Sacrifice came out in 2013. That was a Keiji Inafune produced game. Pretty good. There was the port of Muramasa from Wii, the Vanillaware game.
Port, yeah.
There was another new Vanillaware game that year, Dragon's Crown. There's the Rainbow Moon port from PS3, which was pretty good. So there's a lot of shit on there. But I think if you're going to narrow it down, it's like It might be something like Killzone Mercenary, I guess.
Okay.
I really love. It's funny, man, because I love Hotline Miami. I love Velocity Ultra. I love Guacamelee. Like, these are excellent games. But Killzone Mercenary is a fairly impressive game. It's still alive, I think, too. I think you can even still play it online, which is pretty crazy.
Really cool.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So the platinum, I think, is still attainable. When I was living with my mom, right before I moved into this house when I left California, I replayed it and played it on the hardest difficulty. And I was like, man, this game is fun. I don't know if you remember, like, it really worked well on the screen. Like, you would swipe the screen and like do all these different gestures, and it didn't feel gimmicky at all. That was Guerrilla Cambridge did that game when they were when Cambridge Studio, which was a Sony owned outfit, was kind of given the Guerrilla branding, and then obviously they went on to Riggs after that, and that was the end of that.
Yeah. Shout out to Tearaway, though, as well there.
Yeah, Tearaway's there. I've never been a huge fan of Tearaway, but I think it's the sad reality is that that's Media Molecule's last game.
Yeah, dude.
And by the way, that was made by like 15 of them.
Yeah.
So
shout out, dude. Shout out Dragon's Crown as well. I fucking adore that game.
Dragon's Crown's excellent. It is a little rough on the Vita.
Yeah, of course.
But Micah played it recently, maybe in the last year or so, and I'm like, isn't this game awesome? Like,
it's so good, dude.
I remember everyone flipping out about like the sexualization of, what was that? What's that guy's name? George Katamani or whatever his name. You know what I'm talking about?
The artist. Yeah, that was like Jason Schreier freaking out about it.
Yeah, and it's like, I think the styling's awesome. I loved I loved them all sitting at the pub. Like the slight animation, and that game is extraordinary. Like, Vanillaware is really excellent. It's crazy that I still haven't really played 13 Sentinels. I bought it and played it for like an hour, and I'm like, eh.
What about Unicorn Overlord?
I never played Unicorn Overlord either, no. And it's so weird because I love a lot of their early stuff. I mean, we were talking about Muramasa earlier, but other things too, like Grim Grimoire and Odin Sphere and stuff. So yeah. And you know what else I think did it? Was Sly Cooper in 2013 as well?
It was. Thieves in Time.
Yeah, that's another pretty good port.
Yeah.
Actually. Yeah, interesting.
Good game.
Yeah, there's a lot of it's funny, man. There's like a lot of the Vita is very it's a shame because when I look at the Vita's catalog, I'm like, I've played everything. Like there are no secrets on this thing for me. But man, if you've never played Vita, like if you can get your hands on a Vita and hopefully they keep the store open for a long period of time. I was talking about that recently on Sacred. Remember, they tried to cut it off like 4 years ago, and everyone was like, no, and then they just never tried again. Yeah. Which is interesting. You'd think they would have been like, all right, we'll give you like 6 months.
Yeah, keep it up.
So as long as they keep it up, it's like if you've never played these games, like you can have years worth of shit on that thing to play and you'll get your trophies and all that too, which is fun if you care about that.
Yeah, a lot of good shit on Vita.
I feel like I missed it. Was Danganronpa in 2013 as well? I get a little confused with that because the games came out way earlier in Japan. I mean, they were PSP games.
Yeah.
I believe, right? So yeah, I don't know. That's tough, man. It's tough to keep this all straight.
Yeah, hard for me to see. Yeah, it's interesting. There's like the Jack and Daxter ports and all there. Very interesting. Ninja Gaiden.
Yeah, actually, did you hear the story about the Ninja Gaiden game where that game is virtually impossible to platinum and someone did it recently? And it was like it was a huge deal in trophy circles, like that they did.
That's cool.
Yeah. It's like virtually impossible. Like it's incredibly difficult. I find that so funny.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm looking at Trigger Happy Havoc now. So yeah, the PSP version 2010, Vita 2014. Okay, so we haven't been there yet. All right. So that's fine. We're not over our skis, as it were.
All right. So wait, what did you pick? Killzone, right?
Yeah, Killzone. I think is a good choice.
Okay. 2014.
This is another good. I would argue this is probably the last truly solid year where like they weren't just kind of limping along after this. So you have a few good things. First of all, this is when Minecraft came to Vita, and that's one of the best selling games on Vita. And people, I'm not going to put that as a support. I don't give a shit about it, but I just think that's interesting. That port that was supported for a while, and then they had to ultimately like abandon it.
Yeah.
Velocity 2X comes out this year, and I see on Metacritic it's the highest rated game on Vita in the year. That's at a 90, which is, I mean, that game's fucking exceptional, man. So I definitely would give a shout out to that. Rogue Legacy's port comes out in 2014. That's an excellent game.
Yeah.
Oh, let's see what else. Both Danganronpas are out. So those are older games in Japan, but they both come to Vita. One in February, one in September. And those are both excellent. At the end of the year, my final review at IGN, I believe, is Freedom Wars, which is It has a 73 on Metacritic, which I think is preposterous. Tales of Hearts R comes out. I will say this. I think that I have a lot to do with that getting done at that time. We were
like a Vita port, you mean?
Yeah. Just in our reporting on it and our interviews with Bandai Namco and us pushing for things, because there were 2 Tales games on Vita that were not ported over for some reason. We're like, well, why are we not getting these? And so they brought one over, and I don't think it did very well. So sorry about that. And then let's see there, and this is like where a lot of profoundly Japanese things come out. There is that PlayStation free-to-play RPG, Destiny of Spirits. Do you remember that game? That game came out in
That sounds vaguely familiar. Let me look this up.
So yeah, all right. So I guess it would be something like also Final Fantasy X on Vita for people that care that year.
Yeah.
Velocity 2X is a really good choice and probably the best choice. I think you can choose Danganronpa 1 as well or Freedom Wars, but I guess I'll go with Velocity 2X.
Okay. We'll do Velocity 2X then. I like that. Very nice. I remember playing that game. It was sick. All right. Whoops. 2015 then.
Yeah, so this is where things are going to get a little dicier for me. I feel like, didn't Shovel Knight come out in 2015 on Vita?
That sounds right.
Let me see.
I feel like it came out in 2014 on PC and
yeah, it was a 420.
Was it 3DS?
Yeah, and 3DS, PC, and Wii U. Let me see. Yeah, so it came out April 2015. I remember that. So yeah, I would probably go with that. The port of the Shovel Knight port on Vita is exceptional. So yeah, I would definitely go in that direction. There are some interesting games though that year. A lot of like random Japanese shit that people are gonna love. But that role playing game Orishika, that was another PlayStation attempt to do something. Persona 4 Dancing All Night came out that year, which is funny.
Yeah, I played that.
The Danganronpa third person shooter came out that year. Whoa Dave came out that year. I really love that game. Do you know that game? Mm-mm. It is a play on Mario Brothers, not Super Mario Brothers, but like the static screen arcade game.
Oh, right. Okay.
And like where you're collecting coins and shit like that. I really, really loved that game. I thought that game was really, really fun. Flame Over also came to Vita that year. That's another really random indie game that was kind of cool. Like where you're a firefighter. So yeah. I think Big Fest came out in 2015 too. Do you remember that game? That was another PlayStation game where you were a festival organizer.
I'm gonna look this up.
They were trying to do some weird shit, I'll tell you. I'll give them credit for that.
Yeah. That's when they were trying all those experimental things. And no one bought them. Alas. All right, so let me see here. What did you have for 2016?
We haven't done 2016. 2015 was Shovel Knight.
Shovel Knight, yeah, I got that. Okay.
2016, yeah, things are starting to get dicier and dicier at this point.
Yeah, I'm
actually, no, this is an easy one. Severed. Okay, yeah. Drinkbox. Yeah, Drinkbox, right? And
I never played this one.
It's it's on Switch, I think.
Yeah, I feel like this is a touchscreen game.
It is a port. I think they did port it to Wii U at some point, as well. But what I love about this and what I thought was so cool about it was they made a Vita exclusive. Like that was a Vita exclusive game. They were making it they loved the Vita and they were doing it, and doing that in 2016 was crazy. And I think that it sold fairly well, actually. Like I think they probably sold in the high tens of thousands before they ported it. And that's pretty good for them, especially because they're getting a lot. Those guys work a lot with, the government of Ontario, and they get money from them and stuff. And too, I love those guys. Mm-hmm. Did you play Nobody Saves the World? That was it was fun. That was a really cool game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But Guacamelee is where it's at, man. Guacamelee.
Oh yeah, Guacamelee 2 especially I loved. It's $3.74 on Switch right now. It's on sale.
Even their more quaint games like the Blob games that they started with, like they had the reason that they came to prominence on Vita was because they had a Vita launch game. Yeah, Mutant Blobs Attack. But before that, they had a PS3 exclusive Blobs game. People might remember as well. Yeah, they are an interesting. And then they got in bed with Xbox with Game Pass, but they were an early PubFund developer too. PubFund was this thing Sony was doing where they were basically lending interest-free money to developers to get their games on PlayStation, and in exchange for timed exclusivity, Sony would just want their money back. So like, and once I think you got their money back, then you can migrate the game off the platform. Very smart idea.
Very smart. Okay. Very nice. 2017. I'm looking at this list. It's not a lot.
Yeah, I feel like these are also really incomplete lists.
I'm sure they are.
Because a lot of this stuff's not getting reviewed at this point. Yeah, I mean, I don't even know.
Danganronpa V3 maybe?
I didn't play it. Okay. 20. I mean, otherwise that is probably the choice, but 2017 Vita games. I have no fucking idea, dude. SteamWorld Dig 2 is on there. That's a good game. I mean, I don't want to choose just Shantae half Genie Hero I did play. That's on there. I don't even want to choose anything though. It's like,
okay, we can
I just don't have a complete. I just wish there was a way to. Hold on a second. There's got to be a way, man. Because it's bothering me.
All right, take your time. Yeah.
Popularity, release date, year. There we go. 20. Push Square will have what I'm looking for here. All right. Oh yeah, there's a lot more on here. Well, not a lot more. East 8, East Origin. Oh, I have an interesting answer, which is Valhalla, the bartending game. I played that on Vita. That came out in 2017. That was an awesome game. Valhalla? Do you know that game?
No.
VA-11 HALL-A.
VA-11 HA?
Here, this is what it is.
Okay. Valhalla. No, yeah, I don't know this game.
That's a really, really dope game. But there's actually a lot of stuff on here that comes out in 2017-ish as well. Undertale, Salt and Sanctuary's port, a lot more Japanese shit. Operation Babel, New Tokyo Legacy. I'm sure you were all over that because you're a fucking nerd.
Definitely.
So yeah, that's what I would say for that.
I was out of the Vita trenches definitely at this point.
Oh yeah, everyone was
years ago.
Believe you me.
Yeah, I think 2015 was probably the last time for me mostly. All right.
2018. Is this really all the releases? Hold on a sec.
Take a deep look.
It's funny. So on 2018 for Vita, they only have 2 games on there, but Push Square only has like 20. There are a couple of really good ones on here, though. There's the Stardew Valley port, which I did play fairly extensively. Secret of Mana's port was pretty good. I platinumed that. Cosmic Star Heroine had a PS Vita port from Zboyd. I played that on PS3 or on PS4 as well, though. Rainbow Skies was a really cool game. I don't know if you played Rainbow Moon or Rainbow Skies. They're very traditional, very.
I remember you talking about them years ago.
Yeah, they were cool. I liked those games. I'm gonna go with Bloodstained Curse of the Moon, though.
Oh, yeah, that's a great game. Really good game. When is that sequel coming out? Hopefully next year.
Yeah, well, the guy. The guy died.
Curse of the Moon's, yes, Curse of the Moon was the retro one.
Yeah. Curse of the Moon and Curse of the Moon 2 were the retro.
Yeah, those were sick games.
Yeah, they're awesome. They're better. I think they're actually better than Bloodstain. They're like the real Bloodstain.
Yeah,
they're all great though. But Indie Creates is awesome. But yeah, I'm very excited. I got to go back and platinum Bloodstain 1. I remember, I had all the trophies except for like there's a shit ton of collectibles. You remember you're collecting like food and ingredients and all these kinds of things. I'm like, I can't. Yeah. I'm like, at the time, I'm like, I can't do this, and I just stopped. I'm like, I can't do it.
Yeah. Okay.
2019, I don't even know at this point because on Vita they only show. It's actually a good choice. They have Shakedown Hawaii on there, which is a really cool game. But there's got to be more release. Doesn't Habroxia 1 comes out on Vita? I think in 2019. I didn't work on it at that time. I only did the retcon of it. But let me see. 2019 Vita games. Why is this so hard to find things?
I don't know.
It's fucking weird. All right, here we go. I mean, there isn't anything interesting here. Oh yeah, Habroxy's on here, and actually, I think Habroxy is ironically the best one. Romancing Saga 3 was there as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Habroxy 1.
All right, let's put Habroxy in. Let me lock it in. All right. 2012, Persona 4 Golden. 13, we have Killzone Mercenary. 14, Velocity 2X. 15, Shovel Knight. 16, Severed. 17, Valhalla. 18, Bloodstained Curse of the Moon. And 19, Habroxia.
Yeah, I think that's a good choice. I need a more holistic view of the games to make sure I'm not missing anything, but by 2014, 2015, it should be fairly self-explanatory what it is. And you should check out that game Valhalla. That game is really, really cool. You're like basically just a bartender at like a kind of a futuristic, somewhat dystopian bar, and you mix drinks for people as they like tell you stories and do things. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that sounds cool, actually.
Yeah, It's an interesting game.
Add it to the list of a million games.
Right, of course.
All right, cool. Fun exercise. Anton K wrote and said, "Hey, Green Reaper. I love your selection of guests and random combinations of LSM hosts. Have you ever batted around the idea of having an all patron member show? Get the listeners to join you. Thanks, Colin. Mina is greater than Shovel Knight all day, every day."
Yeah, I really don't think that's true. Shout out to Mina though. I'll get back to it, but Mina
so
being greater than Shovel Knight is no
so
universe
good,
where that's
dude.
True. I could just look at them and tell you that, but having played both of them, and I played Mina for hours. I mean, it's not like I'm unfamiliar with it. It's not. No, please. That stuff sounds nice, and I think it's fun for some people. But I think it's like you don't have a lot of experience with this probably, but like in the sports world, there are a lot of AM sports radio shows and like the YouTube facsimiles of them do a lot of like listeners call in, and people hate, like some people like it, but a lot of people hate it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was always surprised by the success of fireside chats back in the day, and pleasantly so. But where I was like, it really is a game about, or a podcast about just really truly random things and random people, not people you'd know, not people you'd ever meet, not about things you necessarily think you'd be interested in. And there was an audience for that. So I don't want to say like the unintuitive thing doesn't work, because it often does. But for me, I just I don't know. I don't know what that would be, and I don't know what that would look like, and I don't know how to control for the quality. And I think people think this is easier than it is. And I think some people are really naturally good at it. And I think some people don't understand how it's done. So, and then you have to kind of parlay that to the audience that's going to listen to it and is paying for it. It's a tough thing, but I'm not against it. I think we would have to have some sort of structure and some sort of idea. And we do the call-in shows occasionally on the stream.
Yeah. So I'm kind of with you on that. I'm not against it necessarily. I like having the audience involved, but you just want to make sure if whoever you have on it, it's going to be at least a good show. And I've had people on the show that are patrons, but they do their own kind of gaming things as well. Like, I don't know if I really want to just like pull some random person out of Discord chat or something like that for an entire episode. Maybe like you were saying for like a brief call-in segment. But I just want to make sure the show is at least entertaining. And that could be a coin flip if you're just pulling somebody random. So I don't know. And once you do that, you kind of open it up to more and more people asking random people to be on it. And I don't want that to be a constant thing.
One thing that I think would be funny to do, and like, but you would have to pay for, like, we would have to pay people to do this. And I'm not going to do that. But back in, were you ever a Howard Stern fan?
I know of him. Like, I never re-listened to it though.
Well, like he was on radio for decades, but when he went to satellite radio in the mid-aughts,
yeah,
they started like fleshing out what ultimately was called Howard TV, but this whole subculture around his show where like he would do the show and then like people would do a show about his show almost.
That's crazy.
And like talk about it and deep dive into it and like interview people that were on the show about it, and like all that. And it would be funny to do like a meta thing like that about our shows. That would be, I think, would be the most valuable thing to do, but we're not going to do that. I'm too lazy to even think about doing that.
Yeah. Maybe like if I ever did it, it would just be like a segment of the show or something like that. Maybe not the entire show.
Yeah.
Maybe like an hour or something like that with somebody. Yeah. But I would want to, like, if we did it, I'd want it to be like some sort of like random or something like that. Like a contest. I don't know how I would determine that. But it's like I can make Lockmore just pick someone out, but I know Lockmore will pick someone that's a troublemaker just for laughs.
He's a real clown.
I don't know. He is a real clown, yes. Our Belgian clown. And I know he's probably listening to this and just shaking his head right now.
I'm having him on the stream on Monday.
Yes, I saw that. Yeah.
Hopefully
that should be fun.
Help me out a little bit there.
Oh, yeah. He's a good lad.
Yeah, he is.
All right, Colin, let's talk about Luna Abyss.
Luna Abyss. Okay. Here are they. I have my notes here for that. Put this on this pad so that I can write. So I was, I should probably pull up my trophies just to see the run of them, but of what I've played. Sure. But I was feeling like, I was getting things out of the way, and we're kind of entering a slower time. I've actually done a really good job this year, surprisingly, with some exceptions, of keeping up with things as we go. So I was kind of waiting for things to launch. Like Sons of Sparta kind of came out on top of us, and I platinumed that, and Requiem came out, we loved that, and platinumed that, and I platinumed, Lovish came out, and I loved that, and platinumed that. Saint Slayer, obviously my game, and then Vampire Crawlers, platinum that, Mouse PI for Hire, platinum that, Saros, platinum that, 007, platinum that, Pragmata, platinum that. So really the only hanging threads were like Starfield came out, and I thought it was boring as fuck, so I abandoned that. Mina the Hollower, I came out and I just wasn't into it, and I will get back to that and try again. So we'll talk about it later in the show, but I was like, I bought Lego Batman, and I was playing that, and I think that's a great game. But I'm like, I want something else. And I also need to start opening my mind to the idea that I need to. Well, I don't need to start. I have to start getting through things that I need to get through in preparation for games this fall. So like, I want to beat Alan Wake 2, which I never did, and I want to replay Control, and for both of those for Control Resonant. I want to play Grand Theft Auto 5, which I never beat, before Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out or whatever. And you kind of have to do those things soon, because by the time we get to, we'll have Beast of Reincarnation in August, but then by the time you get to early September, that's basically the end. Until the end of the year, there's no time for the old things anymore. So I thought I was making pretty good progress through things and kind of clearing my plate. And then I'm like, I became intrigued by this story about this studio called Qualee Labs. It's Kwalee Labs. They're the studio behind this game, Luna Abyss. And Qualee Labs was a studio that was they're in Leamington Spa in Britain, which, if you know anything about British development, which I've learned about over the years, I didn't obviously intuitively know any of this. That's like a major hotbed of game development in England. And they were known as a Bonsai Collective, and they were working out of there. There's 9 of them on the team. And in 2025, I don't know quite the detail of it. I couldn't find too much information about the publishing arrangement at this time, but like they basically went into what they call administration, like they're bankrupt. And they called it going into administration, I think, in Europe. And a notable, that I've never heard of, but a very famous and popular mobile games house called Qualee, Kwalee, came in, bought Bonsai Collective and their game Luna Abyss out of bankruptcy, and renamed them Qualee Labs. And actually I was like doing a little bit of research, like the Bonsai Collective even wrote about when they announced the game in 2023, and there's a whole PlayStation blog post about it and everything. So basically this game was going to get canceled. And what ultimately happened is these guys, Qualee, came in, saved the game. I think tried to kind of hedge their bets because it's on Game Pass. They released the game. No one really talked about it. The plug was pulled, and those guys are now not making games anymore. So 9 people out of business. And Qualee is founded by a guy named David Darling, and David Darling was the founder of Codemasters, which people might remember. So a person of like some repute. And they've published a bunch of games in the Qualee, not Qualee Labs, but Qualee has they do their mobile game stuff, which is their big stuff, but they publish a bunch of games. I've not really heard of any of them, but they have this publishing thing going. This is their first internal game in the console space. So I was hearing about not the game, but about how the whole story about how the studio kind of was saved, and then their game came out, and it just came out like kind of a fart in the wind. And when I went and looked it up, I'm like, this game looks fucking awesome. And it's just another of this long legacy of examples in recent years of time crunching, where this game would have sold hundreds of thousands of copies on PlayStation 3, for instance, or maybe even in a different generation like PS4. But because it came out and, it's not marketed very well, and I'm sure a lot of the right people in the creative space didn't play these things. I don't know if you saw Sega recently talking about how like they're going to lean totally into getting like enthusiasts and influencers and all this to play their games instead of even worrying about anything else. And because they realize that that's kind of what's happening, because they were even saying that Sonic kart racing game is undersold, which is surprising to me because I thought it sold like a couple million copies, but it's like, I don't know what your expectations were. So anyway, all this drew me to this game, and I am halfway through it. It's 6 chapters. I just beat the 3rd chapter last night.
Okay.
And it is a first-person shooter that I would describe as, it's a single-player first-person shooter in the high-end AA space, I would say. And it's $30, which I both felt a little annoyed paying for, because I'm like, the publisher is getting all like, not even the developers are out. Like, there's no chance of them getting some sort of bonus later or anything like that. But it's like, it is what it is. And so very appropriately priced, very accessible. But it is, the way I would describe it is it's Doom meets Returnal meets Metroid Prime meets Freedom Wars, interestingly enough, which came up earlier because of the Vita stuff. So there's a very deep story in the game. I was reading people's interpretations of it. There is like an hour video on YouTube. I'm not watching it because I'm not complete with it, but I was trying to get like an idea. And what I realized, there's like some Steam threads and some Reddit threads I came across where people seem to be confused about like what the game really is about. But you play as this character named Fox, who's a woman, Fawkes. Actually, there's a very eye roll word. Pardon me if this offends people, but it's like very eye roll worthy kind of situation in the game where like there's some character like deep in the game where there's some characters talking to her and they're gendering her and she's like, actually, I'm a they.
Oh,
like it literally.
Really?
I'm like, dude, if anyone actually played this game, which no one did, people would have fucking.
When did this come out?
This game came out May 21st.
Man, that seems like a product of like 2014, 2015.
Well, it just bothered me because I was, it's like, whatever, man. But at the same time, I'm like, you're a woman.
Right.
Like you present as a woman, you sound like a woman. Everyone's treating you like what are we doing? Like, anyway, it's just fucking annoying. But like that, but it didn't distract me from enjoying the game that they've made. So you play as this character named Fox and you're in this dystopian prison. It sounds so silly. Like you have to almost see it for yourself. There's a really cool presentational panache to this game with really cool stylized cutscenes and like a lot of like computer overlays of like, it's very weird. And it basically is about Earth at some point in the future. And this red blood moon appears in orbit around the Earth. It's actually really cool. There's a really cool image of it appearing and stuff like that. And it is the home of this place called the Abyss, which is like a formless, timeless, spaceless area of infinite whatever. And it's actually really cool because as you're exploring the game, really, it's a shooter, but it's a lot of it is platforming and going through spaces, and the spaces are huge because they're really it's not supposed to occupy any geography. It's actually kind of a neat thing. So you don't really, as I understand it, people on Earth, ultimately, yada, 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 people on Earth are sent as prisoners to this place. And they are given these sentences. So this is where Freedom Wars comes in. They're given these sentences that they can diminish by doing tasks. Mm-hmm. And so you start with a 10,000 day sentence on the moon. And they always show it's not quite as I was thinking of 2 games, Freedom Wars, and then I was thinking of Tales of Exilia 2 as well, where like, because a lot of that was about like a huge debt you had to pay off, and you pay it off slowly, and you do things to do that. This game is like, it's more of a design aesthetic where like you have to do what you have to do in the game. It's linear, so like you're not like being like, oh, I'll do this and get some more years off my. Like, it's just part of the storytelling and like part of what they show you, this clock going down and getting your days out, which is kind of cool. But the moon's appearance, I guess, causes all sorts of problems on Earth. And out of it spawns, I guess, this religion. Mm-hmm. And then out of that religion spawns this resistance group. And I guess you are part of the resistance group fighting against this religion. And the religion is led by this guy named the All-Father. But he's just a human. And it seems like he's kind of just like a fake deity or whatever. I don't know, man. There's a lot of, it's almost like, it's not like Control or something, but there's a lot of like shit to read. And I'm honestly like, I don't know, dude. I'm not really here for any of this. It's just fun to play. The aesthetic is really cool. The sci-fi kind of aesthetic is cool. And they describe the game as bullet hell. I can test that bullet hell can't be done in 3D. And I don't like the usage of that word. I don't feel like it's like Returnal. It's like a cheaper Returnal, a first person Returnal. Like you would see it if you look at the gameplay, you'd see it immediately. Like the way the bullets come at you and like the shapes of everything. It's very much inspired by that. Like no doubt about it. But they call it bullet hell, and I'm like, I don't really like bullet hell games. I mean, because there's arcade shooters, shmups, and bullet hell games, and they're all kind of distinct from each other. Habroxia is a arcade shooter. But a game like Jamestown is a shmup, and so on and so forth, if that makes any sense. And for a lot of people, that probably doesn't. I don't know. How do you feel about that? Could you have bullet hell in 3D?
I guess so. Like, I don't see why not.
Then what makes Returnal not a bullet hell game?
I mean, to me, Returnal has like bullet hell elements. You know, it's not like that constantly, though, I guess. Bullet hell, I think I'm like fucking sweating the entire time when I'm thinking about it. Returnal kind of has like those moments of levity, I guess. But I don't know. Genres kind of evolve and change over time and people's definitions of them. So I just try not to get caught up on it.
I'm not as into the arcade shooter genre and the spawnings off of shmups and ultimately bullet hell games like my brother is, for instance, or others. But I think bullet hell even is a product of like the 90s arcade and like CD infrastructure, because like you couldn't even have that many objects moving on screen at once without the game slowing down. And so I always get annoyed when people can describe like early Konami games like Life Force or something, or it's like this is a shmup, or this is a bullet hell. I'm like, no, it's not. It's an arcade. So I don't know. I'm just a stickler for learning how to talk about these things. And I appreciate that they themselves describe it that way. So I don't want to blame others for marketing it as such, but I just don't feel like that's really what it is. I think the game is interestingly paced because I don't really think it's supposed to be like Doom. It feels a lot like Doom in a way, not as good, but Doom is about a lot of conflict. And this game's about a lot of, there are conflicts and fights and you're killing things a lot, but there's a lot of space between. And I don't know if that's to like let the story breathe, to add playtime to it, to just let you explore, because a lot of it is platforming too. It's not difficult. There's like some light puzzle solving, nothing that I'm stupid as shit with that stuff. So, I would tell you if like the puzzles were hard or whatever, right? They're not. And I like the simplicity of the game in terms of, I only have 3 guns right now. I think you get a 4th at some point, but like I have an assault rifle, a sniper rifle, and a shotgun. There's no ammo. So from that point of view, it's very un-Doom, because Doom is always about cycling.
Management.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Kind of this game's about managing your overheating, and really you don't overheat very much anyway. So like you can shoot 2 sniper shots and then you overheat. You can shoot your assault rifle probably 25 seconds before it overheats. You can shoot like your shotgun a bunch of times before it overheats. So you're just managing that, and you control it with the D-pad, which is cool. So there's no need for a radial because there's just not that many weapons. So you can just automatically call them up. And then the game slowly gives you new mechanical abilities in terms of your ability to traverse the areas. So you get the double jump early, and then you get the ability to kind of, an important part of the game is that you're not really doing it yourself. Like Fox is literally in a prison cell. She's controlling this thing called a warden that acts on her behalf. So the warden can use its special abilities to kind of like teleport into objects and make things appear. And so eventually you'll get to this thing where you can almost like use a hook on a line like BioShock Infinite. Then you jump into like this glowing object. You press square. You if you don't press square, you fall to this chasm, but you're now inside this thing that you're occupying. And then from there, you jump out, you double jump and press square, and this icy platform appears. It's like that kind of shit. Then you find your way back on flat ground, and then you're fighting. And then so on and so forth. So it's a nice little mixture of things. The game doesn't get too bogged down with modifications. Like you can upgrade yourself a little bit, find more health and stuff, but it's not about making yourself stronger necessarily. You can make your guns even a little bit stronger, but I think each gun only has 1 upgrade. So they don't get lost in the sauce with that as well, which I appreciate. And there are cool combat mechanics that I like as well that they unlock. So at some point, the R1 button becomes really important. So you use your gun to like shoot an enemy. And then when the enemy's about to die, an R1 prompt will appear above his head. You can press R1 and siphon his health. Or you can hold down R1 and make him an explosive, and cool. The shrapnel goes around and kills. So there's an idea, and they'll bust out of that phased status that they're in if you don't do something quick enough. But you can get them to all kind of line up and then like use them all at once and become like a suicide bomber kind of style. Pretty much, it's pretty cool. It's a nice game. I think it's really nice lighting in the game. It's a UE5 game.
Okay.
But I think that there is something melancholic about it too. Just in the nature of the game's development, how it was released, it kind of came and went. No one really played it. There's just something sad about that because they really did make something great. And it's just a reminder that it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like there's so much more to it at this point. One of the guys from Microprose was saying it weeks ago, I saw on Twitter, where it's like, you literally just had to make good games back then. Like they would find an audience and you would do well, and they weren't that expensive to make. So you can make like boku bucks doing it if you just made good things. And it is truly about so much more than that. And I think it's about more than if the game is even good anymore. I know I'm very judgmental about things. A few of these things that I've not played, but I just look at things like Roblox and I'm like, it's clearly not about what's good.
Sure.
There's more, like, if it was about what was good, this wouldn't be it.
Yeah.
I feel that way less about Fortnite and other things where I'm like, this is clearly very good. It's not for me. It's not my thing. But I just see some of this shit sometimes. I'm like, this shit sucks ass. And people love it. So it is unfortunately not even about making something great. And it just goes to show you, like, 9 people working on this game. This was in probably I don't even want to speak out of school. This game might have cost $5 million to make or something like that. I don't know. I don't know what their debts were when they were brought out of administration and all the rest. But it's like, it's just, even that is too much, and they can't find an audience.
Yeah.
And that's too bad. I mean, I look at a game like this and I'm like, it's almost certain that Saint Slayer sold more copies than Luna Abyss. And it's like, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now on Steam. It has all of its reviews. There's 638 reviews. So,
and it seems like that's where, and obviously, well, a lot of people probably played it on Game Pass, which is good, but it's also another sign that Game Pass is not saving developers very, very well. I mean, pretty bad that your game's launching into Game Pass and you immediately go out of business. I mean, I think that this shows you that it's actually not nearly enough. You need to have people buy the games. And
right, you do. Definitely.
Yeah.
I feel like, as someone who plays on PC a lot, I feel like if this game was $20, it probably would have done much better. I'm not saying it's not worth $30 or anything like that, but the PC space, a lot of people are like, well, I'm paying, and I'm not saying this is the right way to look at things, I'm paying $20 for Silksong, which is like an incredible game.
I told
like
you.
The top
I told you this
game,
was going to happen with Silksong.
The top game on PC right now, like sales-wise, is that Mecha Chameleon game. It's $6.
It's anathema to the way I look at video games. Like, I saw Alinea talk about this actually recently, which I appreciated because I haven't gotten too deep into it with the guys at Lilymo, but it's like, we've been really focused on wish list numbers, which is good. We have a shit ton of wish lists on Steam, but I'm like, it's a good thing. It's awesome. People are paying attention to our game. They're opting in. It's like an action. It's an affirmative action for your game, which is more than you can say for a lot of things. And I appreciate that. But at the same time, it's like, it's also a sign that people don't want to pay $10 for it.
Yeah.
And it's $10. And to me, I'm just like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know that it's a good thing that we have 20 or 30,000 people laying in wait for us to drop the price of our $10 game.
Yeah.
It's a sign of I actually think Saint Slayer at $10 is a good deal. It's not even like, oh, that's fair. It's like, no, it's actually kind of unfair. It's a good deal.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I articulated that about Silksong, and people kind of were like, oh, you're just jealous and you're just upset and all this. And I'm like, I'm just telling you, like, it's cool and it's competitive and it's capitalistic, and I appreciate that. It's not a great look. And I think a few developers were brave enough to say that. It's like, that's tough. But it is what it is. That's the market. You can't blame people. Yeah. You do whatever you want. You could have made it free. Could have sold it for $5 if you wanted to. Yeah. I just think it's like, there's going to have it's very similar to the drawdown effect of the early iOS store, where it's like, this is going to fuck shit up. And lo and behold, it's going to fuck shit up. So I think you're right. A more affordable price would have been better, but like, $30 I think is incredibly appropriate for it. But I think
I
all
think
you have
for
to do is there's no reason, like you might as well wait. They're definitely gonna. There's no way they're
oh,
gonna
it's
keep
on
this game.
sale right now.
Oh, it is. What is
Yeah,
it?
it's like 20 something. Let me see. It was like 23. Let me double check.
So
I
like
was looking at
20%
it.
off. Yeah,
It's $22. Oh, that's deluxe edition. Hold on. It's 25% off right now, so 22.49.
yeah. I paid full price for it, but I bought it. Well, I didn't buy it that long ago. It just might not be on sale on PSN. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, that's a whole nother thing. This space of AA, it's very much like what would have fit in the old Embracer catalog, like what they were trying
Definitely.
to do. It's just tough. Like it's too bad. There was a lot of love put into it. Like that, I think a lot of love was put into a lot of games. I mean, it's not exclusive to this game, but I'm impressed by the writing. Like there's a lot of really good voice acting. There's a lot of, it reminds me a little bit of Expedition 33 actually in its presentation, just in like the kind of weird interactions with these very strange characters that you meet. And I don't know that there was a direct inspiration there. There's probably not enough time between those games for there to be a direct inspiration, but there's something to that as well. I think people will find familiar. It's just funny. The Metroid stuff is just really funny in terms of the traversal and like the platforming, and then like you even shoot the doors to open them and stuff. It's pretty
funny.
on the nose.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is kind of like people looking at a game, especially on a platform like Steam when there's so many cheap, amazing games, where it's like, does this game look like... I guess it's kind of like people want to feel like it's a deal when they look at it. Like, this game looks very high quality and it's only this amount of money. I'm definitely going to jump in on that. I think a lot of reason Expedition 33 had success is because of its price tag. And people are like, well, this looks like a Sony game or some shit like that. I mean, it doesn't, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I think I'm going to talk about Grand Theft Auto later when we get into Keep It Up, I guess. But one thing I'll say is that like a lot of the discourse around that game's pricing is like so broken and so devoid of and divorced from economic reality that like on one hand it's not your problem. Like when I go and buy like a soft drink, it's not really my problem like what the fucking economics behind the creation of it is. It's like, what does it cost? Am I going to buy it? And I understand that that's the problem with the manufacturer is like, can you find the consumer? And the consumer is either there or they're not. But I think people are kind of wishing in and ushering in this notion that things shouldn't cost money. And I think they're conflating it with the out of control hardware situation, with the cost of hardware that hasn't really translated to software, which is really incredibly cheap. And I don't know how a person can go see some random movie that they don't even know is going to be good or bad. They go and see it for 2 hours. They buy some Coke and popcorn. They're out $25 and they balk at $30 for Luna Abyss. It's like, I don't know. I just don't get it. I don't understand it. It doesn't make sense. There is no understanding it because it doesn't make sense. It's about like your own perception of value. And for some reason you think going to the movie theater is more valuable for 2 hours than buying a game.
Yeah.
And I just do what you want, but it's just like, I think you have to rectify those things. And
yeah,
I don't know. Like people will, I love live music, so I get it, but people will pay thousands of dollars sometimes to go to Coachella or all these things. And then they'll be like, oh, $80 for Grand Theft Auto, a game I'll play for the rest of my life. It's like, do you have any idea how much that game's actually probably worth?
Yeah, it's an expensive ass game, that's for sure.
It's like, well, like just hours spent. It's like, all right, so you go see the 2 hour movie and you pay $15 for your ticket. So $7.50 per hour. I mean, multiply that out and you'll see how crazy it is at that point. It's just strange. I don't get it.
Yeah. Like I'm looking at how long to beat for Grand Theft Auto. And just like for the main story, it's 32 hours.
For 5?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Completionist is like 90 hours pretty much.
I mean, yeah, you have to go all the collective, they fucking haunt me in Grand Theft Auto games from my guide writing days. But like, yeah, all the pigeons and all the packages and all the stunt jumps and
yeah,
that was one of the things I was really like, because I told you, like, I was like, I want to get to GTA 5 and I was like kind of lingering on it where I'm like, maybe this is what I'll do. But the thing that I was afraid of with that was I was afraid I would just never get back to Lego Batman in any quick time. And then I'd be like, I'm just not going to do it, which is exactly what happened with Lego Star Wars. Lego Batman's better. So I'll get the GTA 5 and we'll talk about that later in the summer. So I'm excited to play it.
Yeah. Okay. All right, Colin, for me, the only thing I've played since the last episode is Star Fox. This just came out, a remake of the N64 title. You know who developed this, Colin?
No.
Velen Studios.
The
Midnight Murder Club people.
really?
Yes.
Because we were just
Knockout
talking
City.
about Velen. We just talked about Midnight Murder Club because they just released the final update for it. It's the game that does it like it might as well never have existed.
That was a fun game, dude.
Yeah, I was lamenting because they were like the final. I'm like the final update's up, and they're doing the Velen Games thing where they're like it will always be playable, which I think is really cool because a lot of studios don't do that shit, and it's price prohibitive to do that. They did that with Knockout City or whatever the game was too, where it's still playable like offline.
Also a fun game.
I was like Midnight Murder Club. Like, why did Sony even fund this thing? They refuse to even acknowledge its existence, and it's actually good. It was just weird. It was weird. Yeah, I would love. There is some Brad. There's something about that game, and something about the development of that game, or something about their relationship, or something. Something's weird about that game. It's a second party game.
Yeah, they're just kind of like, eh.
I think it got one PlayStation blog post, and then that was the end.
Yeah, that game needed like one big streamer to play it, and it probably would have been very big.
It's a cool idea.
It's a cool game, dude. It was really fun. Like, we all played it, like all of us. It was so fun, dude. I mean, it's a game, you probably are not going to play forever, but it's cool in like an hour bursts here and there. Maybe it just doesn't have that like longevity, but I guess like Among Us is kind of the same thing, but that game just blew the fuck up. So that's why Sega's leaning into influencers, dude.
It is interesting why Velen seems so unbothered by Midnight Murder Club, and it's probably because they still have the Nintendo money going.
Now they have Nintendo, yeah.
Because they made another Nintendo game, didn't they? Back in they did that home circuit, that random Switch thing.
I'm looking at their games list. Yes, they did Mario Kart Live Home Circuit,
and then they were with EA for Knockout City, which was a well-respected game.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah, they're an interesting. Where are they located?
Hot Wheels Rift Rally, which is like
they're
Mario Kart game.
They're in upstate New York. That's interesting.
They made a VR game too. Bounce Arcade.
Dude, I love the idea of like random Japanese producers having to go to fucking Albany.
Yeah. And they did Star Fox. What is Star Fox at on Metacritic? Let me look at this. I'm curious.
Yeah, I have no idea.
I could see it at like 7s and 8s, maybe 82 for critic, 85 for user.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna.
I mean, I don't put too much weight into user scores, honestly, especially on Metacritic. But yeah, dude, very surprising to see them make this game. And I did 2 runs last night. Colin, you've played, of course, Star Fox 64, right?
I have, yes. I played Star Fox the original and then Star Fox 64. Okay. And then I think the last one I played was Star Fox Adventures, which was the
GameCube game. Yeah, I wasn't too big on that game.
I liked it.
I read through that.
I liked it. I mean, it was fine. You could tell it wasn't supposed to be a Star Fox game. Everyone knew it wasn't supposed to be a Star Fox game. I said this in the past, and I have a very vivid memory of it because I went to Coinstar and I dumped all the money into it. All the coins I had, and I bought that game.
That was a rental for me.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I had to buy all that. I had.
Oh, of course.
My GameCube collection is immaculate.
Yeah, that's nice. Dagan has it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, hell yeah. So, I played it last night. Just for a run in Star Fox is like an hour and a half, probably, depending on how good you are at the game. But the whole point is just replaying the campaign over and over again because there are multiple routes. Depending on an outcome and a level, you will take a different route. Like the very first level, which is Corneria, I think. If you just go straight on through, you can go one route, but there's an alternate route you can take by flying through a couple things and going through a waterfall, and it'll take you on a completely different route. And there's things throughout the campaign like that. I did the submarine level yesterday, Colin, and to do that, you have to shoot like 100 enemies in a specific level to be able to access that. There's the tank level or the train level. You're going around like next to a train, and you're in the Landmaster, which is the tank, and you have to shoot these like I forgot what they're called, like the things that change the track's direction. That'll determine a route. I did one yesterday where there's missiles shot at the Great Foxes, which is like the giant ship that all the crew hangs out in. And if you destroy the missiles, it does one route. If you don't, it goes a different route. So there's a lot of replay value like that, and there's harder difficulties to unlock. There's also online multiplayer in this now. I haven't done any of that yet, so I'm not really interested in doing that, but it is there, I think, with a couple maps. But I did play the multiplayer back in the day. It was all right. Wasn't my favorite. You know, I'd rather play GoldenEye or Smash Brothers or Mario Kart at the time.
But it's cool that they had such an emphasis on that machine.
It is cool, yes. Yeah. I appreciated that. So that's there. The game is also $50 digitally and $60 physical. That's kind of the thing Nintendo's doing now. Their digital games are cheaper. I wish more people would do that. That'd be sick. But alas, it is what it is. But I had a good time going through the game. I think if the game was $40, I think it'd be a little more appealing. I'm okay paying $50 because I know I'm getting into. But I think if it was $40, that might have been like the really sweet spot. But, you know, it's a first-party IP. Nintendo's going to charge a little more. So it is what it is. But yeah, I had a really good time. It is a very close remake to the original. However, there are a bunch of things, like a ton of new cutscenes in between each stage now. So you get a lot more of the crew hanging out, chatting. They have more personality, I would say, compared to the original. Now, I haven't listened to the original in a while. I heard people complaining about the voice acting, which we'll get into later with the write-in. But I just can't recall super well. I'd have to hear the voices next to each other. So it's been a year since I've played through the game, but I didn't find anything offensive on that front. The visuals look really good. I like the way they look. The character models, I'm sure you saw, Colin, they are more like realistic looking.
Yeah, it's unsettling.
And I'm kind of into that because it reminds me of Star Fox on Super Nintendo. Like if you look at the promotion stuff for that game and the way the characters look in that game, they look fucking terrifying. So it kind of leans back into that a little more, which I like.
That's cool. It reminds me a little bit of what Naughty Dog had said about Jak and Daxter, like where they had Jak and Daxter. They were going to, like when Uncharted was going, they were going to go back to Jak and Daxter, and they kind of like started getting it going, and they're like, you don't want to see this.
Yeah.
Like you don't want to see this eldritch, godless fucking thing we're making here. So we're going to stick to this other
stuff. But they're like, no, dude.
It's funny, man. Like Star Fox 64, I haven't played Star Fox 64 probably since the N64 era. And what I remember about it was, what I remember so distinctly about it was, and this is what I kind of loved this about video games back in the day. And this was especially acute on N64 where there were like 300 games on it or whatever. But like, you just were waiting for things to come. Like, it's like, oh, this month, this comes out. And then this month, this and this come out. And correct me if I'm wrong, but it's like, by this point, because I think it was spring or early summer when this came out in 97. And GoldenEye was coming out a little later in the year. And I know people were excited about that.
Yeah.
And they were also, I think, maybe it was at Space World that year or whatever, they really started talking a lot about Zelda.
Sure.
We knew it was coming out next year. But at this point, it's like you had like the launch games like Mario and Pilot Wings, but then Wave Race came out, which was kind of good. Shadows of the Empire came out, which was awesome. And then you kind of had this huge wait where it was like, it was Turok.
Yep.
And then there were other games like War Gods and shit, but then like you got Star Fox, and then that led into like a better run of things from there. And I just so distinctly remember Star Fox being one of those things where I played it and I'm like, it's what I'm like, this is a fucking rail. Like I didn't know how to, as a kid, I didn't know how to articulate it, especially because later we would play games like Rogue Squadron that were much truer to what Star Fox could have been, I guess. But like you're playing this thing where I'm like, this is one step away from Time Crisis.
Yeah, it's like an arcade game rail shooter.
Right. And I'm like, as a kid, I was like, yeah, it's fine. You know, I wasn't crazy about it. It felt a little stifling. I always liked the characters though. And you and I have said this, is like, I was a Nintendo Power kid, and man, they were selling you this fucking game. So
I had the VHS for it that they had sent out.
Right. And so it's like, I was susceptible to that sort of thing. I just look back and I'm like, people really like Star Fox. And I thought it was really cool that they, Q Games or whatever they were called back then, you know, Star Fox 2.
Yeah.
They released, you know, much more recently or whatever, the canceled SNES game. And it's cool. And there is a legacy there, and people do like the IP, but I'm like,
It's not
I like Fox. I don't even give a fuck about this bullshit, you know, like that's going on here. To me, it was just kind of, even as a Nintendo guy, and a Nintendo kid, I was like, I don't really give a shit about this.
Mm.
And I felt that way about the SNES one. But it was different because everything was more limited then.
Yeah.
Your expectations were different. I think the N60, I think what I realized early with the N64 and really throughout it was I was like, this isn't really living up to my expectations in a lot of different ways. There's some really great shit on here, no doubt. But the PS1 was just booting it in its ass. Like I just, even as a Nintendo guy, I just wasn't taking it very seriously. That was what was so refreshing about the GameCube, where I was like, now you're cooking, you know, with some of the games you're getting out. And
like Luigi's Mansion, that 3-hour game.
Oh, I love the Luigi's Mansion.
You're cooking with that game, dude.
But what I'm saying is like the out, in my opinion, first of all, the greater third party support. Yeah, although I wasn't really playing third party games on there. I'd play a lot of third party stuff on PS2. Mm-hmm. But and I always felt like there were things that drew, like Soul Calibur 2 is a great example of like, yes, of course I'll play that on GameCube. But no, I'm saying more about the quality of game meeting, matching, and exceeding that of which it is happening on its competitors' consoles. It was not unusual for GameCube to have the better games in a specific quarter, even against the PS2 and certainly against the Xbox. So the N64 didn't even sniff the PS1. And that was the thing that I knew it then. And in a lot of ways, especially late in the N60, like the N64 era wasn't very long, but like Pokemon's revival of Game Boy and then into the Game Boy Advance was almost serendipitous because it was like, I was like, oh no, that's still my Nintendo. And that's the way I felt even through DS. And it's funny how that kind of splintered off because GameCube was its own thing, but then Wii obviously lost me very quickly. But there were these two parallel tracks. Now, what I think I've not come to appreciate over time as a lapsed Nintendo fan is the merging of those two tracks. And so that you have to kind of go to this one thing now to get that track, and that track still exists. And I know that, but time is of the essence. I just don't have the time.
I feel like with the N64, it was like pretty high highs and kind of low lows. And I think a lot of it depends, like for N64, for me, a lot of the good shit was just multiplayer. It depends.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Point in your life, if you're like, I was playing multiplayer with people constantly on that fucking machine.
Definitely, so that's definitely true.
Like PS1, I was definitely going for like the RPGs and like the single player kind of stuff. 64, you know, we had Zeldas, which were amazing, and Mario 64 and stuff like that. Some cool stuff like Banjo-Kazooie, but yeah, I think the multiplayer is what really carried the N64 for me.
I totally agree.
GoldenEye, dude, god damn.
Yeah, GoldenEye's excellent. It's a totally excellent game. The Turok games were fun. And they even made that Turok multiplayer game, which I never owned.
Rage Wars. Yep.
Played it. Which was interesting. So they really, I mean, that was what was so cool about the GameCube kind of revitalizing. Obviously it stayed with the N64's ability to like play seamless multiplayer locally, but like I always felt like the Wavebird was kind of the spiritual successor of the N64's move towards 4 controllers to begin with.
Yeah.
They always really understood the communal aspect of it. I think that's why the segue to online gaming really hurt them and set them back like 2 generations basically. And they didn't know what to do.
Yeah. They did get their ass kicked on that front a lot.
Because it was like a totally unintuitive, like you can imagine Miyamoto like being like, who wants to play like this?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you want to play next to a person like on the same screen? Like you can almost, you know, that's the kind of shit they were grappling with. They just didn't understand it. And,
100%.
Yeah. And now they do. But
Michael Betts wrote in and said, Brad, with this gorgeous recreation of Star Fox 64, do you kind of wish Velen Studios had made some new levels or zones to expand on the original? I appreciate the expert mode with new enemy placements and harder difficulty, but I would have loved to seen something new as well. P.S. My body is Reggie for Ocarina.
Not if Link looks like that, man. I'm creeped out.
That's an old meme. That checks out still though. Yes. So with me, this is kind of like what my opinion on Ocarina of Time remake is. I expect it to be very 1-to-1 in terms of content, but I want them to kind of swing for the fences more with the remake and change things up. Like I want the cut light dungeon basically put in the game, but I don't think they'll do something like that. I think it'll be close to the originals. And for this, they kept it pretty close to the originals in terms of content. But yeah, I would have totally loved for them to throw in like new levels or stuff like that. I wish they did. I wish a lot of these remakes sometimes, in terms of Nintendo, would get more ambitious with their remake, but often they keep it very close to the chest. Scasm wrote in. By the way, I was on Scasm's podcast.
Oh yeah, I was
recently.
on his show as well.
You've been on it. Dustin's been on it. Now I've been on it, and maybe someone else has been on it.
You got to diversify your pool here, Scasm, because it's looking. You gotta spread us out a little more. Yeah.
He said, "Hey dudes, now that Star Fox is out and did such a good job at recreating the magic of the original, aside from the voice acting, would you rather the sequel be a remake of Star Fox 2 or branch off into something completely new? There are rumors of a second funny Star Fox game, so maybe they split into two distinct Star Fox series." Yeah, I would like to see them do something brand new. I think the remake, I understand. Star Fox has been a dormant IP for a while, but now Fox is kind of coming back into the spotlight with the Mario movie being a great example of that. And you're remaking the Star Fox game that everyone unanimously loves. So I think that's great to get new people in. It'll get some old boomers in like me, but I definitely want new Star Fox from them. I want it to, like, if it is just this, again, the same style, but like all new shit, like I'm okay with that. I think you need to keep the price appropriate though for that as well. If it's like an on-rail shooter that's an hour and a half long to do one run. But I really want them to be like super ambitious with Star Fox and do something crazy. I'm not talking about crazy like Dinosaur Planet running around with a spear and shit like that, you know? Flying has got to be the core of it still. But I've always said I wanted like the Ace Combat team to make a Star Fox game or something like that, since those games are so beloved. So yeah, I would like to do something crazy, like maybe like more Rogue Squadron style. Like you're saying, like objectives in a level and stuff like that, doing different mission things.
Nintendo got a great relationship with Bandai. I mean, Namco.
They do.
Smash Brothers is basically made by them, isn't it? So
yeah. That
would be a step back. Actually, it's like you already the keys of the kingdom. They already have the keys of the kingdom.
So
that's an interesting idea to do something with that Ace Combat. That's a fun idea.
Yeah. So hopefully they'll do something like that, because I definitely want a new Star Fox game. Pair of Shoes Run said, "Hello, Brad Fox. Fortunately, this is almost sounds like a furry name." And Colin Abyss. If you both had to be put in a Star Fox game, what animal would you appear as? I feel like Brad would be a giraffe, since Micah thinks he's essentially Atlas from Greek mythology. Micah's a liar. This is one thing I've known over the years. She likes to just fucking start rumors and lies. She's like a politician.
Yeah, she's full of shit.
She is full of shit.
So mean.
How tall he is, and I think Colin would be a shoebill.
Oh.
Have a great weekend. Enjoy your lives, yo.
Yeah, that's an interesting question.
A cool one.
Yeah, let me see if I see the resemblance. Yeah, I mean, I don't really see the resemblance, but I love this is obviously like as close as we're gonna find a bird looking like a dinosaur kind of situation.
Yeah. I was just gonna say,
yeah, go ahead.
Make you a flamingo.
Yeah, I mean, flamingo is my favorite animal. You know.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind that at all. A flamingo. Who doesn't love a flamingo?
Yeah.
Piloting a starship.
I mean, yeah. My favorite animal is also a bird, Colin, which is a toucan.
Oh, you like toucans?
Yes, I love toucans. Just their dumbass huge beaks, dude. That shit makes me laugh.
Yeah, they're ridiculous. They are cute. Yeah, like, how do you hold that thing up?
Yeah, how do you do it, man? They got buff faces, I guess. I don't know.
Animals are funny, dude. Like,
yeah,
our perception of them, and I was saying that on a recent show about how my endless anthropomorphizing of animals, like I just love it.
Yeah,
like I just love talking to animals and like making things up about them and just pretending that they have they have no idea what the fuck's going on, and it's so funny. Like it's just they're just there.
They're just living, man. They're living in the moment.
Yeah, they're great.
What would the other LSM members be? I'm trying to think. What would Chris? I feel like he'd be a little monkey or something, right?
Oh, interesting.
No monkey? I don't know.
Yeah, sure. Like the little,
or like a little badger. I don't know.
Little badger. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not good at this. Like, I don't know. Like when I think of Dustin or I think of Cog or something, nothing comes to mind. It's not like, oh my God, the Cog's a fucking Dustin. Whatever. Dustin's a whatever. I don't know.
I'm not saying this is what it would be, but the first thing that popped to my mind when I thought of Dustin was an armadillo. And I don't know why.
Armored Armadillo.
I don't know. Yeah, Armored Armadillo, Mega Man X fame. There you go. Good shit. All right. Well, I want to say Star Fox, really fun time. I had a great time. My expectations were completely set with this game, so maybe that's why I'm a little more positive on it. But I thought I had a lot of fun playing through it. It's good shit. Really fun levels. If you like on-rail shooters, definitely check it out. If you haven't played Star Fox before, this is a great spot to hop in, I would say. Colin, you should give it a spin, dude.
Yeah, it isn't very long. Micah has it. She was playing it, but yeah, maybe I will. I don't know. I really don't give a shit about Star Fox. Like it's not even like one of the games that I would, I see her play things every once in a while. There really hasn't been anything out of first party recently. Like to be perfectly fair, it's like I wouldn't be playing any of this shit. But like the Yoshi game or anything, I was like, I don't want to play this.
Yeah, she wasn't too big on that Yoshi game. She's devastated about that.
Yeah, it's not a huge surprise. I mean, like Nintendo's always released a lot of like whatever. Mm-hmm. It's no insult to them. It's the texture of the environment that they've created, and I used to be a part of it. I used to buy all those games, but there's like a lot of that shit when you really get down to it. And there's nothing I see from their first party personally where I'm like, I really want to play this. It's not even that hard. It was way harder for a while to stay away from that stuff than it is now. Like Skyward Sword and Galaxy 2 I played. I mean, I was like, I'm playing this. I don't give a fuck. But like it was more difficult, and I think now it's like not even that hard because I think because Zelda's not for me anymore. Like I don't know what they've done to Zelda, but what they've done to it is they've made it way more popular than it's ever been. So it's fine, but it's not my Zelda.
Not my Zelda.
And Mario Odyssey. I'd be very interested to see what the new 3D Mario is because they are very hit or miss for me. But like I could do without Mario 64, but I love Mario Sunshine and I love Mario Galaxy. So Odyssey, and I didn't like Odyssey. So it's like we'll see.
Sorry, you just did like a critical strike on me saying I could do without Mario 64.
Flood.
Damn, dude.
Yeah, Mario 64. I'm. I don't know. I just wasn't into it.
Damn. All right.
I'm a purist.
So you like Mario Sunshine?
Yeah, that doesn't even make any sense.
Yeah. All right. Let's do Sorted Out, Colin. Just something that's bothering us in the game industry. I don't have anything off the top of my head, so I'm going to read some of these write-ins, then I'll maybe think of something. Is there anything off the top of your head?
How can you not? But why? Well, why don't you think about it before the show?
Because I like to be in the moment. I'm the exact.
I hate you, motherfuckers. What'd you say?
I said I'm the exact opposite of you in the prep in some of these things. I like to be on the spot with a lot of it.
That stresses me out. Like last night, I was at 4 or 5 in the morning. I'm fucking furiously typing this bullshit out so that I know I don't need to. In fact, it's so funny. Like I don't know what will happen with Lego Batman, but I barely read my notes. But it's just good to have them.
Yeah, I think notes are fun to have. Yeah, sure. Yeah. I take notes occasionally if I like with details about certain things I want to make sure I don't forget about.
But it's like, all right, I'll let you pass. But sometimes I know people are on the show and they're like, oh, I don't know. And I'm like, you have to be prepared. Like you have to know what you're gonna say. You have to tell them that.
To me, I would want it more from the heart and not so forced, I guess. I don't want it to be like, well, I guess I'll do this kind of thing because I have to. I don't want it to be like gun to your head necessarily. I want it to be more of from a passionate standpoint. Because I could just be like, how many times am I going to say sorted out Xbox? How many fucking weeks have I done that? I mean, they keep giving me ammunition, but I guess I could keep doing it. But
it's your show.
Teach their own. But this is my show, so I can make the rules.
All right. So for me, for Sorted Out Sony with the PlayStation Network. Now, I know we've gone a great deal into, and we're not going to go into like what happened with me and my account boosting. And, I think that I've made enough noise and was annoying enough that they're trying to do things on their end. I don't think it's a coincidence that they're hiring 2 new anti-fraud experts in recent weeks. I think that comes from this conversation. So they're on that, and that's a very serious situation. Like people's accounts getting boosted. What I'm about to say is less serious, but I think emblematic of the weakness of PlayStation Network generally and how they really don't know what they're doing in a lot of different ways and the peculiar security situation that they find themselves in. So I don't know if you've noticed it or you've discussed it or seen anyone discuss it. It's been, I think people have reported it, but I think it's been vastly underreported, is that people had figured out how to get into like one of the back end stacks for PlayStation Network to manipulate certain widgets on PSN that are not really security related, but like can fuck with you in a major way. So if you go on PS5 and you look at your profile or anyone's profile, it'll show you a series of boxes, these various widgets. These widgets are pulling from various stacks behind the scenes. So like one of them is like the trophy system. And by the way, I only know this because Pork Poncho, who's a listener of the show and a community member, an ascending community member, who is an air-conditioned European, he broke all of this down. But I'm speaking from a layman's perspective, kind of regurgitating some of the technical stuff that he's been saying. But like these things all pull from different systems. So one of them is trophies, and that's like its own thing. And trophies is fine. Everyone was freaked out about that. And it's like, no, trophies seem to be okay. You better hope. But there's another stack of whatever for your library and your permissions, and that seems to be unaffected. But there are these other two that were apparently out in the open, and they're the ones that show what you've played and how long you've played things. And these nefarious actors had figured out a way to force PSN to ingest fake information. And what they did was to a bunch of people, and I've said this before, it seems fairly obvious based on my own research and things that people have told me. And again, I haven't said most of what I know, I think, or understand about various situations because I don't think it's useful to talk about these things publicly. But everything that I've figured out, I've relayed what I've could to Sony and everything, and they don't need me to do it. They have people that do this stuff a lot more professionally than me. But these other two, so these two widgets were able to be messed with. So they basically, through PSN profiles as a nexus, it seems like, though other people were affected. So it's like thousands of people, perceivably tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands. I don't know, millions. I really don't know. It's like a lot of people. Like if you go on Reddit and you go on PSN profiles and you go on Twitter and Facebook, like there's a shit ton of people talking about this. And I don't know if you've noticed it happen to you, but random games just started appearing for people in these lists. And the game now, this is what I said to Sony when I was corresponding with them about this towards the beginning of our conversation about this particular issue, where I was like, this is objectively funny. What they basically did was, so like, I'm like, I want to admit it, right? It's objectively funny.
Yeah.
What they did was they took games like Sex Shop Simulator and like Hentai Queen or whatever these like random games, and put them at the top of people's lists and then gave them outrageous hour counts on them. And there's like a recently played thing, so like it'll show like your most 3 recently played games. And this is funny in the sense that, like, think about like, Dan Smith down the street works in accounting. He plays Call of Duty with his buddies at work and his friends, and he's got some of his family members. His little cousin is on there, some old high school friends. And then they're like, oh, what's Dan's online? What's Dan playing? And then they go and they look, and it says the last game he played was Sex Shop Simulator, and that he has 8,000 hours in it. That's what they were like. It wasn't even like a quaint amount of hours. It was like 8,000, 10,000, like shit like that. And I'm like, okay, that's funny. But other people like me got it way worse, where I'm pretty sure they added every game to my list, so that ever existed on PSN. So tens, I think it was something like 70,000. Someone came up with the number or whatever. So like that the widgets wouldn't even load.
That's crazy.
And this was apparently done through some API that was like unprotected, that it's reading off of, that they never. The way Pork Poncho kind of described it is like when you buy a game, there's like this whole permission structure, and that doesn't speak to this other structure. This other structure is just like this native localized thing on your console that tells the PSN what you're playing. And these guys found that you can just tell it whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's been weeks that this has been broken, and people are like, what are they doing back there? And I'm like, what they're doing is that they figured out that this thing is fucking broken. I mean, that's what they figured out. And like, Pork was saying like what they need to do is all of these different things. And basically the reality of it is that there might not really be a way to fix it properly. People are talking about how like they can do something. There's like an easy fix for people like me, which is just make the licenses speak to that list. And they just connect to each other. You have the license and you play the game, boom, it pops up on your list. But what happens if you play physical games? And all of the rest. So it's like, this might actually be permanently broken, or at least it might not work the way it's supposed to ever again. And that's because people are like, oh, it's like there's no reason for this to be broken for so long unless it's very, I don't want to say it's like the PSN outage because that was a serious thing, but like it's very similar where like that was down for 5 weeks because it was fucking broken.
Yeah.
And they didn't know what to do, and they had to do all this other shit to get it up again. I think they're in a similar situation with much lower stakes. But I think this is what I've said to Sony before behind the scenes is like, and I want to be clear, they've never ever acknowledged PlayStation 6 to me. They've never said anything to me about it. That's all I'm saying. But I've said to them, I'm like, you are about to have people buy an all digital PlayStation 6 handheld. You gotta lock this thing down and treat it with the seriousness it deserves. Because what I'm trying to make people understand is like these kinds of storefronts, you'll conceivably use them. Like imagine you're a child right now. You're in high school and you have a PSN account. There's no reason why you wouldn't be using it in 50 years.
Yeah.
They have to protect it. And these little things, now, this is unverified, so I want to be clear about that. But it was suggested to me by a couple of people that I spoke to that don't know each other, but that this might be some sort of white hat / gray hat thing. There's a rumor that you know this, that companies discreetly seek out problems and they pay people to outline them to them and then they fix them. And they're done in these form of like digital bounties. And so like someone will report to Sony. Actually, this was done pretty prominently, I think, with Portal. Remember like these guys at Google were like, we discovered this massive security breach with Portal and they reported it. They could have, now some people like, and I think it's more like the quote unquote black hat thing, is like some people will just be like, this is it. This is what actually happened with that guy. I don't know if you remember his name, George Hotz, back when the PS3 was broken open. And he released the jailbreak information and Sony sued him.
Oh, damn.
So there's this working theory in some circles, although I don't know this. And again, this is just could be totally made up, but that like this problem was reported to Sony through one of these outlets. Yeah. And Sony was like, no, it's not a problem. And so the person did it to be like, oh, yes, it is.
Yeah.
And that's who knows if that's true or not, but that's what, some people think. Because unlike boosting my account, which can be done in, through customer service and all these different things that they do, once you do this, it's over, right? Like you've spent your ammunition. And so it's like there would need to be a greater reason for you to have, I guess what people are logically trying to think is like, why would you do it? If like it just gives away the game as opposed to being really subtle and weird about it. And for a while, people were being subtle and weird about it. I don't know if you remember that like people were making profiles show that you played Grand Theft Auto 6, for instance.
Oh,
people were making it show that profiles were playing games that weren't even released, but that are in the back end. So people were doing it, and Sony probably should have known that this was happening through some unprotected API or whatever. But now they know. And so, go look and see if yours has been affected or not. I know a lot of people can see that other people's shit has been affected too. And there are ongoing threads about this on PSN profiles and other places as well. But they got to sort this out. I want them to succeed. I want all these companies to succeed and win from a security perspective. Like protect your greatest asset, which is your customer. And by the way, it's just inherently true that the more valuable accounts are the older accounts. And these are the people that you need to protect the most. Your year-old PSN account is worthless. You have virtually no games. You have no trouble. But what about the person who had a PSN account when PS3 launched in November of 2006? It's theft.
Yeah.
So just wanted to throw that out there.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. I think that's very good. See, Colin, this is why I don't come prepared for some things, because you start talking about it, that I start getting mad about something, which is PlayStation related. It's not the same thing you're talking about, though. But it's just this whole fucking thing with how they've handled live service. All of it. Bought Bungie. They got fucking bamboozled in the entire thing. They got rolled so hard.
They really did.
Like, how did you fuck up that bad? It's crazy how much they got scammed on that. The whole thing with Firewalk What a fucking disaster. What are you doing? The whole thing with Haven as well, with Break-In. That game's already... That game's been DOA for years
that game's done.
since it first got shown. No one is excited about that game. There's literally nothing they can do about that game. The one game you have that is actually good, which is Marathon, people fucking hate that game for some reason.
Yeah, they hate Bungie. They have Helldivers, to be fair, as well. But
they have Helldivers, but they don't. That's not their team, though. What I'm saying is the big investments they've been making in live service, where they're like, we're gonna own this fucking thing, we're gonna buy these teams. They have fucked up every single one, all of them. That's 3 strikes, dude. But they did the second party thing with Helldivers. That worked out very nicely. And I think they're fucking up. And we get quotes from Nishino saying they're going to continue pursuing live service games despite challenges. That's not what people want to fucking hear, dude. That's not what they want to hear. It's been a disaster, dude.
Yeah, I disagree with you there in that, like, I was pleased to see him say that. And I think that that's what they have to say is, like, they have to do it differently. They can't abandon. They can't.
I'm not saying to abandon live service altogether. But you need to, as you've talked about this, and what's very smart is to just shut the fuck up.
Mm-hmm.
Stop saying this stupid. You don't need to fucking say this right now. Quiet.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know.
That's not what people want to hear right now.
I don't really know why they give these interviews. Just in that they don't do them very often. They'll talk to Famitsu. They'll talk to like GQ, whatever. Yeah. But it's like they don't say anything. I almost feel like they're like, oh yeah, like so that when they get criticized for not talking, they're like, we just gave an interview to fucking GQ, and then you just say a bunch of platitudes. That's the bigger frustration for me. Like the games as a service thing, I get people's frustration and consternation about it. I understand it. I am a single player game. These games are much more for most of you listening than they are for me. If I can understand how this works and why it's important, then certainly those of you out there who will probably play some of this fucking shit will. You just have to. There's no future in single player games as a first party comparable to the money that can be made in multiplayer games. They're making all of the multiplayer stuff, the free money that they make from all these multiplayer games is buttressing their entire business, and all they're asking for from the universe, they're not asking, like, I'm not saying like they deserve anything. All they're asking for from the gaming universe is like, we have to be in this space too, just like all of our competitors are. And it's what I said, like, because I understand people's consternation, I think the greatest shame is not only the money that they wasted in the many billions of dollars on these games, Bungie, plus all the shit they canceled, but it's the goodwill and the time.
Yeah.
And they don't have it anymore. Like and so I think that what they need, and this is why I keep saying, like, what they need to do is they need to reform their first party to focus entirely on expensive AAA games. That's my belief. The things that they do best. And it doesn't have to be $300 million. Yote was expensive, and that's sub $100 million. So it doesn't have to be outrageous. And obviously Astrobot was a cut rate game because it was made in Japan. And then they have to have a second party apparatus that is heavily invested in this space.
Yep.
The problem is that they did have that. Those games weren't going to work. They put a ring on those teams anyway. And that made everything go pear-shaped. Plus their mismanagement of their own teams, like deploying Bend and Bluepoint on these games, was just stupid. And that's the thing that I think is so shameful, and that's why Herman Hulst should just be replaced, because you need someone else with vision to say, we this is what we do best. And these games do sell. People bust our balls about the next God of War. People bust our balls about the next Horizon. And yet
they show up.
And like, you'll see that with Wolverine, and you're going to see that with like, and so on and so forth. So it's like, that's our bread and butter. And then we will take risks on games, and we'll have the Helldiver situation. And maybe we want to have the best relationship with Arrowhead, or we want different things and we can't buy them, but at least we own the game.
Yeah.
And I just feel like but they should have already been in these positions, and they would have learned early on. See, that was what the greatest surprise about like the lack of taste making is, like, when I learned that and this is not me learning it like behind the scenes, you can see it for yourself in the leaks, is like Deviation, that third team. Right, it was Haven and Firewalk, and then there was that third team, Deviation, which ultimately was Jason Blundell, came over and did Dark Outlaw and all the rest. But they were making a single player third person game, and they canceled that one. And then they were like, Concord, yes, and we'll buy you. Fair Games, yes, and we'll buy you. Deviation and the single player third person shooter, no. and then we'll hire you to make another team, and then we'll just shut that one down too.
Yeah.
Like, it's frustrating because I know I could make better decisions than this. And if I could do it, there's many people smarter than me and more able than me in that space that can do it. They need to find it. So I understand people's disappointment. Just try to see the bigger picture. Because if you think that Sony can't survive in the long term without meeting gamers where they are, and they're not, I'm going to tell you right now, not Saros. They're not playing Saros.
No.
I'm sorry to say it. I wish they were, dude. I wish they were playing Saros by the tens of millions, but they're playing Saros by the hundreds of thousands. And you're asking Sony to make a bunch of these.
Yeah, they made all the wrong decisions on how they went about this. Constantly, like we were just saying, it's fucking unreal. It's crazy that Herman Hulse, like you said, still has a job. I don't understand.
I think it's contractual. And I don't think he can be fired. It's just that I feel like they're just like, we're not going to pay you to not work here.
Just deliver bad news. That's about it.
Well, I really do think that I really do believe, I believe he has been defanged, and I believe he doesn't make any choices anymore. And that's just my perception. And by the way, I was calling that perception at Xbox for a year and a half before Phil Spencer was left, where I was like, it's fairly obvious when someone has like control and when they don't. And I think Herman Hulse is just kind of riding out his. He was made CEO, co-CEO, and then demoted. He signed a contract probably at that point. That contract was probably a very lucrative contract, and he's going to get paid out if they fire him. I just think it's that simple.
I have a question. Why do you think they haven't invested in as much in teams in Japan, since it is so much cheaper to make games there right now?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think if they were to expand inorganically, that would be the only thing that would make a lick of sense to me, because, or maybe even in Korea or something like that, like Shift Up, if they were interested. They're obviously not.
Yeah.
But something like that to like get your foot in the door. That's why the Haven acquisition bothered me a lot less than the Firewalk acquisition, just because it's like, oh, well, they're in Quebec and they can draw from this whole different group of people that we never had access to.
Yeah.
And I think they're in a little bit of a dire situation with Japan, because they have Polyphony, which does their thing, and then Asobi, which is small. They don't need to reconstitute a Japan studio, because that doesn't make any sense anymore. We don't need all these little games. But yeah, like it would be cool, because games like the cheapness, the relative affordability of Japanese development while selling on the global market is why Capcom was able to spend so much time on Pragmata.
Mm-hmm.
Like Pragmata would have put Naughty Dog out of business if they were like, oh, we have to restart and years and years. It's like, no, that game was probably comically cheap to make, actually, compared to West Coast development. So you're absolutely right. But they can just find the partners. Like, to me, I just think that they just no more studio acquisitions. They don't know what to do with these things. There are no obvious acquisitions to make right now. Arrowhead was the only one. And Housemarque and Bluepoint were big ones, but they solved those for better or for worse. So it's like, if anything, I hope it's not even the games as a service stuff. It's from the Haven and Firewalk situations. It's what I hope is that they learn that they have to listen to what Nintendo has always said about, like, you don't make a Nintendo, you don't buy a Nintendo. Like, we don't do inorganic acquisitions because they don't make sense. And Sony needs to remember that they should ship games with these teams before they buy them.
Yeah, definitely. See
if they can do it. You weren't able to, you didn't see if they could release a Concord, that you just assumed it.
Yeah, that's true. Do you think they don't have enough pull, I guess, to get like exclusive third-party Japanese games anymore?
Yeah, I think Nintendo's probably a major problem for them. I think that's a really pretty good question, Brad, because I think that one of the big things in the Famitsu interview was them talking about how like deeply subsidized the PS5 is in Japan. They're losing a lot of money on it, because they're like, yeah, we shat the bed here. Like I said it for years. It's so frustrating, because I was on that too, where I was like, they are ceding this territory to Nintendo. I don't understand why they want to do that. And they just didn't seem to care. And so, yeah, if you're a if you're a Japanese developer, you want money and you want security, and people love PlayStation in Japan. It's not to say that they don't. They obviously do.
Yeah.
But why would you want to be with PlayStation if it cuts you off from the greatest marketplace? Obviously, they can pay for whatever they want, but Yeah, that's the I just think a lot more games are going to come from Korea. They're going to come from China. Even when, I think India is going to be a place where a lot of games, India Hero games are already releasing on PlayStation as we speak. So Vietnam will come online. You're absolutely right. It's again, it's not the endemic nature of affordability in their home market. It's that they get to sell the games overseas for Western prices. And that's
Yeah.
big time shit. It's the exact opposite of what we get to do. Naughty Dog gets to sell their game in yen in Japan.
Yeah.
That's not ideal. But Capcom gets to sell their games in USD and in euro and in pounds. And that's huge. Huge.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they got to figure out a way to kind of get back in the game over there in the sense of having like exclusive content, I suppose. I mean, I guess it's maybe not necessarily to survive or anything like that, but we just used to get a lot more exclusive like third party games from them. And that's kind of gone. Like Capcom doesn't do that anymore. Square Enix is moving away from that completely as well.
Sony's been spurned by these guys. I mean, I'm not so sure it's for lack of trying. I mean, to be fair.
Sure. I don't think it is. I'm sure they have tried.
And I think that I think there'll be a new round of these kinds of games, but I don't think they're going to come from the familiar people anymore. And by the way, a lot of these developers, like the Platinums of the world, we see this with FromSoft and the trouble at Katakawa right now with like the CEO being in trouble because they think that like FromSoft is kind of being bungled post Elden Ring, which I think is actually a really interesting insight. I was reading some of their numbers and they're like, yeah, it is kind of weird. Like they're not doing that much better than they were before Elden Ring in terms of gross margin and all the rest. And it's like, you just released a game that sold like 20 something million copies. What is going on here? But I think a lot of these guys are willing to work a la carte without publishers on one-off projects. And that's probably where Sony can attract, like that's where a Bloodborne comes in. Like for real, if you're at FromSoft and you're like these guys that are agitating, like these activist investors that are like, we need a new CEO, we need to be more active. It's like, well, why don't we go to Sony and see if we can get Bloodborne 2 going? How's that for some fucking money?
Yeah.
So I think that that's what will happen. But yeah, it's kind of, I mean, it is what it is. Square Enix and Sony were tight. And Square Enix walked away from that deal. And by the way, I don't know how well that worked for Square Enix. Like I think it's good to sell your games everywhere. If I were them, I wouldn't want to be exclusive either. But like they acted like there was this toxic situation. And I'm like, you would be in fucking deep shit without this audience right now. And I think you kind of disrespected them a little bit.
Right. Yeah.
And then, so there's like that. And then now this isn't Japanese, it's Korean, but with Shift Up, it's like, so they clearly walked away from Sony. And it's the same thing that happened with Arrowhead. Like, I don't think Arrowhead really is interested in working with Sony. I mean, they've said that they don't want to work on the next game with Sony. So it's like there were a lot of irons in the fire, and none of them really are bearing fruit, and that's kind of a bummer. This is what happens when you have to. They're in a catch-22 because there used to be much more stringent rules.
Mm-hmm.
I think Koei Tecmo, in a way, broke open the barriers with Neo specifically, where they're like, we're going to do these publishing deals with you, but we're going to own the IP.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think that was totally unheard of with Sony. And that's why they own all this random ass shit from like the PS1 and PS2 era. They Arc the Lad and Mr. Mosquito. And I was like, what the fuck? It's like they have like, but they couldn't attract anyone anymore. And so they started making these deals that were more and more open. Bloodborne is a good example too, where they own Bloodborne, but clearly there's a first right of refusal thing going on with that game.
Yeah.
Right. And then so you have Neo and then you have Rise of the Ronin. And then you have things. So then you have Kenna, right? Where it's like, this is just a totally external game. You have something like, then you like give them everything they want, like with Shift Up and Stellar Blade, where it's like, you keep Stellar Blade, you can release it on PC. And then they're like, no, we'll just do it ourselves now. We don't need you. Yeah. And that's the tough part about not getting these people in the bound contracts that used to, in the old days, like Stellar Blade would be a PlayStation IP and they would have their first right of refusal. Like it would be like a Heavenly Sword situation where it's like, all right, well, we won't make Heavenly Sword right now and maybe you won't make it, but we'll make it with someone else at some point if we want. And I'm not saying that's good. I'm just saying that gave Sony control. They don't have it anymore. And so now you're seeing the fruits of that, I think.
Yeah, very interesting over there. Zuron21 wrote and said, sorted out Rockstar. Just because you can get away with not showing the performance and content for pre-orders doesn't mean you should. Some of us have standards still. Just don't pre-order the game, guys. Don't do it.
Yeah, why are we?
You don't need a pre-order.
Yeah, why? I don't mind a week before pre-order thing. Like, secure your pre-order bonus, get the preload going. But like, what is even the purpose of like? It's strange to me. I don't understand. And I don't understand the pre-ordering the case with the code in it thing. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know what the fuck anyone's doing.
I don't know.
It's strange.
I mean, I get where he's coming from. It's like weird getting pre-orders for a game when you haven't even like fucking seen. I mean, we've seen a trailer of the game or whatever, but we haven't seen what it's like to play it. But it's like GTA 6 is just like such an anomaly compared to everything else. It just does whatever it wants. That's just the way it is with that game, and it's gonna do whatever it wants, and it's gonna get away with it no matter what. So if this bothers you guys out there, and I understand why you could, just don't pre-order it, dude. You don't have to. It's fine. I'm not gonna pre-order it till it's close, like Colin's gonna do. It's like, I get it if like maybe you want to just PlayStation charge you right away if you pre-order. I'm trying to remember. So maybe you want to get it out of the way or something like that. I can understand that.
I totally understand that. I just
it's not going anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, money's fungible. Just save the money for later. And it's not like the price is going to go up. Right. So, I mean, the price for the hardware is maybe going to go up. By the way, I'm of the belief that PlayStation will not raise the hardware price again for the rest of the year. Not because I'm analyzing that in the tea leaves or whatever, but because I'm like, that would be so insane. You have like Wolverine and Grand Theft Auto coming, just bite the bullet, dude.
I would bite the bullet.
And they just raised the price in March. People are forgetting that. Yeah. And at that time, they did say that they were raising the price more than they felt they even need to, so they wouldn't need to do it again. Well, now we'll see. The situation's ever changing. But
yeah, we'll see.
Lowest PlayStation sales domestically since the late PS2 era.
Yeah, it's rough.
Imagine even the PS3 wasn't this bad. That's bad.
That's crazy. Florida Man Rowan said a huge sorted out to Xbox, raising prices again on the console. Actually know what sorted out to the games industry. Nobody can afford these prices. Hardware is very expensive right now. It sucks.
Yeah,
it's fucking brutal.
Yeah, it is brutal, and it bums me out because things were going really well, and I think things are going very well. I don't know what the end game is because it just seems. I was just talking about this with Reese Elliott on Sacred Symbols Plus, where I was saying like it's just, I've been in this industry for a long time. I know what I'm talking about. Like it's I'm not saying that it's going to be right or wrong. It's just it's hard for me to envision what this even looks like. Like how do you release a new console? Who's buying it? What exclusive games are going to be sacrificed on this thing? Like how long do the PS4 and PS5 get supported? If the PS5 keeps getting more expensive, do they just stop manufacturing the PS5 and just sell the PS6? There are like so many unanswered questions, and that doesn't even get into like Xbox's situation, which is way more dire because they're obviously going to be going with OEMs. At least PlayStation managed to sell almost 100 million of these things before shit got crazy.
Yeah.
That's not the advantage that the Xbox is in. And certainly the Switch 2 is going to suffer too, because they just because of timing, not because people don't want it. So
yeah,
Sony's problem is less acute. And that's why I hope that they're going to have to start eating shit on PS5 a little bit, which is a bummer for them. They make a lot of money on PS5 though. And they should just understand that like, you got to this is the last chance to sell this thing. If the prices continue to stagnate and go up, even if they plateau at this rate, it's like the PS5's momentum is done. I remember saying last year in a different circumstance, I'm like, the PS5's easily going to outsell the PS4.
Yeah.
And now it's like the PS5 might just limp over 100 million if this really keeps up, which is great, but it's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Dude. What a shame.
This is the first console generation we've had where prices just continually go up, I suppose.
It's broke. Everything tech was we were in a golden era of tech for certainly since the 90s, but obsolescence in the 90s made things really difficult because things were becoming obsolete so quickly. And I remember the struggle with that, even with our own computers. Like you bought a computer, like a high-end computer, and in 2 years it was like garbage. And that's not the case anymore. So you have like this more flat thing where resources are being taken by this new technology that people don't even seem to want. And I don't think it's I think it's worth saying that like one of the participants in the gaming industry is one of the companies responsible for the pricing.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
Their drive, Sony doesn't even have the amount of capital at its you know in its hands to drive the market to do this. These are way bigger companies doing this, and it fucking sucks. And I saw what Micron said about like, kind of locking its prices in, and it did have 16 signatories, and they haven't said who they are, and I imagine one of them might be Sony. I also noted that Microsoft said that they were uniquely affected by hardware pricing, and I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that they were kind of trying to get out of it. And that might have been the right move. Like that might have seemed like genius shit if you let it play out,
Yeah.
where you just won for reasons you never even calculated for. We're like, holy shit, we wanted to get out of hardware because we were losing. We didn't realize we would be like 3 years ahead of everyone else because like everyone else is also in the same problem. We don't even experience this anymore. Now we can just sell our games. I don't know, man. It's a tough situation out there. But I also think that we're going to find out, this is the other side of it, Brad. We're going to find out the bounds of cost resistance. Like, are you really that hard up? Now, right. I'm not saying the individual out there. Some people will be like, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm broke. I'm like, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is like the average consumer, the enthusiast, you balk at the $1,000 PlayStation, but will you actually buy it?
Mm-hmm.
And the reality is that there are millions of people that will buy it at $1,000.
Yeah, totally.
And the sadder reality is that fall 2027 PS6 at $1,000 will have been cheaper in real money than the PS3 when it came out.
That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, seemingly the Steam machine's selling out. And that's fucking $1,000 for a thing with no controller.
For a PS4 Pro.
It's like a PS4 Pro, yeah. So I don't know. We'll see, man.
I think that there's going to be a lot of that. I think you see that with Grand Theft Auto's pricing too. It's like people pocket watch a lot, which I understand, but there are lots of people out there with the money to buy this shit.
Yeah.
And they're going to drive the market. That's why I'm really intrigued by the argument that I've been kind of more onboarding recently about the idea that like you don't delay the consoles, not only because you can't. I mean, it's just totally unrealistic to delay them much more than a quarter or two. You have to make them when you're going to make them or you're out of line and all. And we've gone into all of that before.
Mm-hmm.
But the idea that like the people that wouldn't buy it for $1,000 won't buy it for $1,000 until it's whatever price it's going to be. But there are people that will buy it for $1,000.
Yeah.
So just sell it to them now. And I think that's
like a soft launch almost.
Yeah, where it's like, that's the whole thing is like, I think we'll find the definition of what soft is. In other words, it might not be as soft as you think. Then again,
maybe.
Then again, the Xbox has never sold worse than it's selling right now, the brand. And like we said, PlayStation is, it's technically even old. Like it's May 2000. So, which was like when everyone was kind of waiting for PS2. And that was before the Xbox even existed. So it's like an even older thing. So that suggests, of course, that what I'm saying is not necessarily true, that there already is a price intolerance. I think the question is the price intolerance from this being old technology? Or is it from it being, is it from a level of saturation? Or is it that people know about the PS6 and the Helix and all these things and are like, well, we'll just wait?
Yeah.
That's kind of unanswerable. And that the answer will be somewhere in there.
Yeah.
I think.
Definitely.
But I think people will, in other words, I don't think you're going to have this meteoric PS4 like PS5 like launch. I don't. But I think they're going to sell every unit they can make.
Yeah. Seymour Butts wrote in and said, here's something for the sorted out section. I like buying about 5 new games a year, as gaming is a luxury hobby, as they say. However, I have not purchased one new game yet this year, and there are 2 culprits. Somebody tell the utility and insurance companies to quit raising rates every year substantially so I can afford to buy games.
That's because of AI too, by the way.
We all complain about food prices, but you can be compensated with a few bologna or hot dog sandwiches to offset prices. Utilities and insurance, you have no choice but to bend over and say, please.
I'm telling you, there's only so much people can take, man.
Like, yeah, there's only so much. Here, I'm going to cut this off because we've gone long.
The utilities thing, I am so I feel so bad about it. Like, so, and I don't know what people know about Virginia, where I live. It's like and Micah was telling me this actually. I know, I was looking more into it. It's like I think, have the most data centers, at least per capita, and like it's very heavily aggressively marketed here. Like there are commercials on TV about like why it's good and how it helps and and makes jobs and all this. And at the same time, everyone's energy rates are going up. People are freaking out here.
Yeah.
And I feel it was one of those things about winning for different reasons. It's like I got solar panels put on my house like 4 years ago. And I basically don't pay for power most of the year. And I don't see it. And then I look at like the rates and I'm like, dude, this is fucking crazy. Like people can't live here without air conditioning. Right. People like, you need lights. You got to charge your car and you got to have computers and entertainment and you got like, and these companies are just driving things up. And I just feel like people are at a breaking point with this shit, man. Like, and I don't really blame them. And insurance, like you brought up insurance, what a fucking racket, ripoff, bullshit system. I hate it. You know, like I wish we lived in a higher trust society where we can trust people to do the right thing and seek the care they need and all that kind of stuff so that we can have a universal system and the people that get the care that they need and that they have the right to get it. Right. And it's because it's like, it's so predatory and wrong. We pay almost $1,000 a month for our health insurance. And then every time I go to use it, like I'm paying copays and then I'm getting bills in the mail. And it's like, what am I even paying? Like, what is this?
Right.
And it fucking annoys me so much because I can afford it. And a lot of people can afford it. But a lot of people can't afford it. And if I was at a harder up point in my life and I was paying these rates and then I was going to the doctor to like get some, you know, I had like a little like wart thing growing on my finger and I went and got it like frozen off or whatever. And then I had to go back and you're getting, it's like, oh, I'm paying $15 every rip. And then I get a thing in the mail being like, oh, and here's like another $70 bill. And I'm like, so what?
Yeah.
And I was with you for literally 3 minutes.
Yeah.
So I get it, dude. I'm sorry about that. You know, and I totally understand. And you're missing out on some good new games. But the thing about PlayStation and what's great about the ecosystem, and certainly Steam is like this and Xbox is like this, is the games will be really cheap. If you're willing to wait, if you have no FOMO, imagine you're really into an MMO, like you love Final Fantasy 14, right? Or you really love playing Fortnite and you have, or like some of these, you're an FC guy or whatever, and you are just looking for these accoutrements to play throughout the year, which is probably a pretty normal experience on PlayStation. That's kind of the average player.
Yeah.
Why would you ever buy a full price game? Because you're always kind of involved in something else anyway. And then you just wait and you're like, oh, now Pragmata is fucking $30. Now I'll buy it. And I'll go dick off and play that for a little while. It's like, I totally understand why people don't buy these full price AAA games.
Yeah. I mean, if I wasn't doing this for a living, I would definitely wait on stuff more often than not. That's for sure. But yeah, wait for those sales, baby. They always come.
I like putting my money where my mouth is.
Sure.
Like I like paying full price for the games and trying to support the developers.
I would pay full price for, definitely. Right. But like some, I would just wait.
But it is a luxury.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. All right. Keep it up. Anything you're pleased with, Colin?
Yeah. I was going to say Rockstar. It came up a little bit earlier, but because I know this was the consternation of the user Zeron21. I love that Rockstar is not showing anyone anything. And I feel like it can't go on for much longer, probably. But after they put the pre-orders up and did all this and then showed nothing new, except for some screenshots. And there's like, if you go to the website, there's like information on characters now and stuff. It's cool.
Yeah.
I don't want to see anything, so I'm good on this. But I am of the belief that they have nothing to gain. And that it's surprisingly and refreshingly transparent, though they're not really acknowledging it literally, by saying like, we really don't have to show you anything.
They don't.
And it would be awesome if they just didn't show anyone anything until the game came out. But I just don't think you can do it. I think at some point you have to let people play it. They're obviously going to invite people. Now, this is the thing is like, if I were them, I'd be like, I know those guys, Simon Ramsey and those guys at Rockstar. They're brilliant PR people. They know exactly what they're doing.
Yeah.
They're some of the best. And I think that I'm certain that they've made the argument probably behind the scenes of being like, well, what does it look like? Like, what does the minimalist approach look like? We have Sony doing all of our advertising for us. You turn on the PlayStation 5 and it shows a huge VI logo. They change the app icon on your phone.
I know, it's crazy.
Why would we? And people are already excited. They're already excited. So why would we put out a trailer where people are going to pick it apart and find all of the problems and all the seams, just like they did when we released a screenshot of the Bay and Leonida, and something didn't have a reflection and people freaked out about it. The Ferris wheel didn't have a reflection.
Yeah,
that was all anyone talked about. It's like we have nothing to gain from showing the game, and we're not going to lose if we show it. We're just making problems that we don't really have to have. And I wonder how far that discipline will push them, because it's pushed them this far.
Yeah.
They haven't shown anything new from the game in a long time, I don't think.
No, not since that trailer.
And
really,
I'm like, damn, that's I mean, think about it, Brad. I mean, do you remember the last time a game was put on pre-order and there was nothing? And that it was a huge deal. There's probably millions of, there's all these specious bullshit numbers going on around about it. I saw someone say like 50 million. I'm like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
But it's definitely millions of people have pre-ordered the game at this point. And I don't know. I say keep it up. Like, I think it's pretty interesting. And I like what I know it's frustrating for some people, but see it from their perspective and understand that like it's interesting that like they're treating it differently and that they can treat it differently.
Yeah.
But do you think they'll do hands-on round and
did they do that for Red Dead 2? I can't remember.
I don't remember Red Dead 2. I know they did it with Grand Theft Auto because I did one of those rounds.
For 3 or 5, I mean.
Yeah, I'm not that old.
I don't think they will, honestly, now. I think you'll get maybe one new trailer and you'll get a commercial, like TV commercial. And I think that's going to be it.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll get like I think they did this with Red Dead, kind of like a more in-depth gameplay thing. Maybe you'll get that, but maybe 1 or 2 more trailers. I think that's it.
Yeah.
You don't need people to play this game. It's not going to help you.
Yeah. I just don't, I also like the resistance of being like, we're just not going to show you anything. Even if they're like, this is perfect. Like what we're showing you is E3 style, slow walk, guided, pan camera, frame rate perfect. You still can't win because then you're just showing it to people and ruining it. So it's like, I think at some point I think so. Yeah. I love the silence thing.
Yeah. You don't have to convince anyone on this game is what I'm thinking right now. Because when this game comes out and word of mouth starts spreading, that's going to sell it even more. So
I think the only thing I personally, Brad, it's like the only thing you can say about that is like, if they have a doubt, then they have to show it. If they really do believe it, right? If like, they're like, we got it. Like we've taken our time. This could have come out years ago. It's perfect. Like you're going to love it. If it's not that, then I guess you could make problems for yourself in the post-release environment, because then people will be like, this is why they didn't show you anything. Yeah. Because the game runs at fucking 20 frames a second. It's got pop in everywhere. Yeah. It's all fucked up. The online isn't operable because it's not because they're trying to be cute and let you play the game, because it's not ready. Like there could be all sorts of things that they're trying to hide. I just don't think so. I really do think the game has probably been totally done for years.
Yeah, it's just been polished
for
a long time. And like based off their history with like their games, like GTA 5, very good. Red Dead Redemption, incredible game. So it's like seminal. You've earned that trust. It's not like a CD Projekt situation where I'm still like, whenever they're going to show Witcher 4 actually, or whatever it's going to be, where I'm kind of like,
yeah,
and good actually.
And now tear it apart too when it comes out. Like hold this game. This game needs to be held to account in a way that no game ever has. Not because you want to, not because you want to keep it honest, but because it's like, no, they've sold it like this. Basically, it's a premium game that they took forever on. There are thousands of people that worked on this game. And by the way, another shout out thing for them is like, there have been some leaks and dribs and drabs, but like, considering the amount of people that have been playing this game, that have been QAing it, that have been working on it, that are tangentially involved in, I'm an agent, I represent this musician who's on this radio station. Like there's a bunch of that shit going on. There's probably
Yeah.
in the low tens of thousands of people that have some sort of real exposure to the game. And no one knows really anything about it.
Yeah.
Like there are rumors and
It's fun.
drabs about things. People have seen things that have leaked when they were working from home and everything. But like, I'm shocked by like the level of discipline. And I think a lot of that comes from the fear of being the person that fucks it up for a team so big, but also probably because they are up these people's asses.
Oh yeah.
And they'll fucking kill you.
Yeah, they'll kill you if they got a gun in their head. Absolutely.
As I've said, I know I've said this a few times recently, but just like, I always was fascinated when this was when Grand Theft Auto 4 came out. So this was like a different Rockstar. They were a big Rockstar and a big for their britches Rockstar, but they were not what they are today.
Right.
They refused to mail copies of the game to anyone because they were convinced that people would steal them. And so they would send interns and like low-level producers on the plane to all these different places around the world from New York City and from Rockstar North in England to deliver the games by hand to all the media everywhere in the world.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy.
Because I remember when the guy came to IGN and he came to see us, I think GameSpot, One Up, and a few others, and then he went right back on the plane and left, like on like the next thing out, you know. And I was like, that's so interesting. No, and I've said too, and I've played many a game early, hundreds of games early. They're the only ones that have ever made me sign an NDA, like actually sign a real NDA. That's not like, you know, IGN covered all of us kind of thing we signed 5 years ago kind of thing. But they're like, no, your name's going to be on this. Mm-hmm. And it was for Red Dead specifically, too.
Yeah. Christian Ryan wrote and said, keep it up to Valiant Studios for doing an excellent job in the Star Fox reboot. Nostalgia aside, the controls and frame rate are super smooth, and I'd say it's the best looking game from a Nintendo IP. The environments are truly what we thought they looked like as little kids. People griped way too much on the character models, and the voice acting is solid as well. I hope they can collaborate more in the future. Yeah, I'll give my keep it up to them as well. I am pleased with the Star Fox reboot. Star Fox has been in the dubs for a while, so especially after Zero. So to see that Fox and his crew come back in a pretty good state, good start. Good start. Sean Mason wrote and said, hey, Summoners, I would keep it up for the entire LSM community. 2026 has been the most difficult year of my life. Losing my mom back in February really took a toll on my mental and physical health. Through it all, though, the one constant was the LSM community. Thank you to each and every one of you for being there. Keep it up. Y'all rock. Best, Sean M.
Thanks, Sean. I'm glad you're on the mend. And yeah, you've had a rough go. Micah was filling me in on a lot of things with you, like just kind of a sequence of things. And I'm like, man, you're like such a good person. I know, you know, we know Sean. Mm-hmm. And you deserve like, you know, happiness and stability and all those things. And I'm glad that things are kind of starting to come that your way more.
Yeah. Yeah. Shout out to everyone in the LSM community. Definitely. The one wrote and said, I want to give a keep it up to Colin. I know you were lamenting on Sacred Streaming on it being no effort. I think that is just wrong. I know chat is helping you get material, but it does take talent and effort to stream for 4 hours and keep it entertaining. Your crash outs in the last 2 weeks have been great. Plus, I think it did help Sacred Symbols. You and Dustin have been so much funnier since you guys went full-time on streaming. I don't think it's low effort at all. Keep it up, dude. P.S. Immortals of Adium is mid as fuck, no matter what you guys say.
No, it's not. That could have been a great success story for EA if any of you had a fucking modicum of taste, which you don't. Yeah, thank you. Sacred Streaming has been fun. I get to play kind of like a heel version, which is funny of myself.
Yeah, that always.
And Micah was talking about that recently with someone where it's like, someone was saying like Colin's so funny on those things because he's like and I'm like, yeah, I'm a silly person.
Ramp it up.
Yeah, I'm just a silly person, and I just like being dry and yeah. So I've been having a good time with it, and yeah, thank you. And it's been good. It's been good for business too. Like it's doing so much better for us than I ever thought it would. Mm-hmm. So that's cool. It's attracted like advertisers now and stuff like that we're going to be, I think, working with soon. And so it's all worked out for the business as well. Cause I must admit it was a selfish sort of thing for me to be like, I just want to do something else. I'm bored. You know, right. Like I said, I felt like I was always in a waiting position for like the next show. Like I'm like, and obviously Sacred Streaming happens at a certain time, but it's not this formulaic performance of what you're expected to do. It can be whatever you want it to be. And I felt like I needed that.
Yeah.
Creatively.
Yeah. It's good. I peek in every now and then when you're streaming, and it is entertaining. So definitely, the easiest content often is the most liked content.
Yeah, it's disappointing. I mean, it's disappointing from that perspective. It annoys. I mean, there's no doubt that annoys the fuck out of me. But yeah, it's a good problem to have. You don't want me to try? Okay.
Don't try. Just show up.
If you insist.
Okay. Game recommendation from the audience for the audience. This is up shit's ass.
I love that.
Hey, Chuckle Fucks. I come with a game recommendation, but with a slight twist. This one is for a demo. The Transylvanian Adventures of Simon Quest. Colin, I know you won't play demo, especially not on Steam, but you are not ready for how good this game is. It transcends expectations. Now, as a side note, I hear Brad has some qualms about Simon's Quest. Can we get a 10 to 15 minutes on why that is? All right, thanks, boys. Cheers. No.
You're scared?
We've talked about this. No, I'm not scared about
You
it.
should be scared.
There's nothing to be scared about.
Horrible night to have a curse. By the way, I'm looking out the window because it's pouring right now randomly.
Oh, cool.
I was opening the blinds.
I love rain, man.
Me too. I'm not going to play the demo because I want to play the full game. I've had my eye on this game for a long time, and it looks awesome. But I don't want to spoil it for myself, so I'm not going to do that. But I appreciate the challenge. I'm always down to talk about Simon's Quest, and I'm taking a lot of inspiration from Simon's Quest as I begin to write the next episode of, or not the next episode, but the next game in the Saint Slayer series. So
you know what we should do, Colin, before Belmont's Curse comes out. We should do like a retrospective sit down about the trilogy, the original trilogy.
Sure.
The NES trilogy.
Sure.
In this season.
Yeah, that would be fun. Yeah, that would be fun. I wonder, would we do it visually too? Would we play the games? Or would we just talk about them?
We could do that on stream if we want, or we could do a Sacred Symbols Plus or something. Whatever is required at the time.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be fun. I mean, I'm excited about that game.
Oh, yeah.
It's really, like, it's not exactly what I would have wanted. I will admit that.
Sure.
I don't think that I would have but like, I wouldn't have chosen the art style. But I think I would have chosen the developer. They're definitely one of the developers that would have been good at it. So I'm just trying to, I want pixel art. And I hope that they don't abandon that for all Castlevania games moving forward. But
pixel art's kind of a dying breed.
Yeah, like, it is.
Really good pixel art, I guess.
Yeah,
I mean,
it is.
There's stuff there, of course, but I know what you mean.
So
like,
yeah, but
getting that Alucard animation going on a modern game, like I don't know if that's happening.
Yeah, it's like it's beautiful, and it is difficult, it's sophisticated, but anyway.
Yeah. All right, Colin, our final game, Lego Batman: Legacy of the Dark Knight. I have this as well. Been wanting to play it, have not played it yet though.
Yeah, I picked it up as I was saying earlier. I was kind of part of like this whole part and parcel of this whole like, oh, I got a little bit of time. This was kind of the last game that I wanted to pick off from the list of games that have been coming out. And honestly, I wasn't too tuned into it. I knew it existed. I think they showed it for the first time only a year or two ago. And then they released it and it came out at a good time, kind of a little room to breathe. So I knew I wanted to check it out at some point because I do like Lego games. I like a lot of the older Lego games, the old Star Wars Lego games, Batman Lego games, etc. And I wasn't such a huge fan of the Star Wars Skywalker Saga game from 2022. I just felt like it was, maybe it was me that changed. Maybe it is one of those things where I'm like, oh, I'm just not prepared to play this kind of game anymore. But this game was being marketed and talked about like a refreshing departure for Lego and like a new breed of them, a new breed of specifically of Traveler's Tales games. Because I talked about a lot about how much I thought, Lego Horizon was pretty bad. I don't want to say bad. It was just whatever. It was just this thing that exists, but it wasn't them. It's not like a home-based Lego game. So what these guys are specifically doing with Lego is really important. And I think what they've discovered with this game is like a new way to approach, not necessarily there have been open worlds in Lego games and stuff. It's not anything like that. It's just a new, novel, cohesive way to present, in this particular case, the Batman license in a way that harkens back to games people like, has a lot of the familiar trappings of a Lego game, and is accessible and cute and really for all ages. It's not a game that you really have to ponder too much or play too hard. You can make it more difficult. There are difficulty settings, and you can make it the combat more hard. But it's just a game you kind of experience. You know what you're getting. You're not going to get your shit kicked in playing it. And I think with all things Lego, a lot of your buy-in will come, and a lot of your purchase with it will come with how you feel about the IP. So I love Batman.
Mm-hmm.
I think Batman's awesome. I've loved Batman since I was a little kid. I've talked about this many times. I'm not a comic book guy. I'm not going to pretend I'm not nerdy about it, but I've always been interested in the films, whatever generation of films they were. I like all of them basically, and even the campy, weird ones.
Let me read this since you're talking about it. Andrew Feister wrote and said, "Good days, dude. Good day, dudes. This is for Colin. What's your history with the Batman films, and how is this informing your experience with the game? For what I'm told, it's a mishmash of every interpretation in one complete story. And from your own admission, you don't watch many movies. Curious to hear your thoughts, and thank you for your donation."
Thank you for your donation. I should be fair. And I mean, well, I've said this before, but you probably haven't heard me say it. Is like, I don't watch many movies now.
Mm-hmm.
There, from my being a toddler in the mid 80s to, the mid to late aughts, I watched a shit ton of movies. I used to go to the movies all the time. I would rent movies. I would buy movies. So like 89 Batman, I saw in the theater, and I specifically remember seeing Batman Returns in the theater. I have a specific memory of seeing it with my parents. And then I saw them all from there, and I'm specifically enamored with the Nolan movies, which I think a lot of people are. I think all three of them are superb, and I will say, so that's one connection. And then I also was a big fan, and I was the perfect age, and you were too, for the Batman animated series, and that was a big part of my, and I mean specifically the 90s one. That was a big part of my upbringing. Like, to a lesser degree, Adam West, that shit was on like Nick at Night at some point, and but like, I wasn't reading detective comics and shit. Like, no, I'm that's not me. But I like the toys, and I just always liked the character, and I specifically have liked the villains. I always thought Batman villains were the dopest villains by far.
Yep.
And there's like 10 of them or so that are like iconic in my opinion. And it makes me excited to not only see further, because I'm about 20% through the game, but to see like the new movies, and if they'll ever get, I want to see like Mr. Freeze, and like all these kinds of.
Who's your favorite villain? Was it Bane? Was that you?
Well, in the Nolan movies, I like Bane's movie the best. I mean, I would say my favorite villains in Batman are like the Riddler and Mr. Freeze. I think are the coolest. And it's funny, like I like the camp versions of them. They're not the right versions of them, but I like those versions too.
Yeah, sure.
But I would love to see, like in the newer Batman, like the way they did the Riddler, I thought was really cool. Like he didn't even have like there was almost nothing about him. And I was like, yeah, this is cool. This is like real grit. And like, and I think Gotham's a really cool setting.
Oh, yeah.
I think that like this dark metropolis that's like being overrun by crime, and these really, there's just fucking crazy people that Arkham Knight, I thought Arkham Knight was not great. Actually, I thought that it was a somewhat unfocused game, but I loved the use of the random villains in the game, and like the 2-bit kind of bullshit villains that Batman like basically doesn't even have any time for, and how that plays into it. So I think, like I said, I think your runway with the Lego Batman is going to be a lot about if you like Batman like that. Like if you don't, then I don't know that there's really anything here for you, unless you like Lego games or whatever. But they are deeply connected to the movies, and it seems like they are connected even to the imagery from the movies, which is cool. And one of the things that I thought was fun about it as well, and Micah was pointing this out as I've been playing it, is like it's kind of, I don't want to say it's adult, but it's one of those like wink nod games where like there are things in it where it's like, oh, kids wouldn't even understand this.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think that's kind of neat too. I will say that it very much, people describe it like this, it very much is an Arkham game in the combat, which I was like, that's kind of cool. Like Lego games were about kind of rudimentary combat, a lot of replicant characters and shit like that. This game seems to be like type characters. This seems to be more focused on fewer characters that are more distinct from each other, that you swap between less. And I think that that's fun. I wonder if Lego games used to kind of be structured. Lego games were all about unlocking obscure characters and that's cool. But like this game is more about the experience of being in Gotham City, which is a little bit different. there are still all the trappings that you would expect, the red bricks and mini kits and like collectibles to find and riddles to solve and all that stuff exists, but it's like within the parameters of, it's a version of Gotham that's most like Borderlands in that it's segmented between these sections.
Okay.
So it's not like a true open world city. It's not like you're in fucking Liberty City or something like that. It's like there are sections to it and they load, and there are missions that bring you through the game. So like there's a lot of like linear sections of the game as well. I continue to be caught up with the conundrum of the Lego game, which is like, I want to smash everything and like collect the studs everywhere, but like it really is a waste of time to play like that because of the multipliers you get later on. And yet I can't stop myself from doing it. It is just one of those joyful games to play. But I will say that I was drawn to Luna Abyss and then later probably to GTA and other things that I want to play because I'm like, I got to get a break from this game. Like I can only play it for 2 or 3 hours at the most at a time. And then I'm like, I'm kind of like, I've got,
Gotcha.
it very, that's always true with these Lego games. Like they're just, because they're not very challenging, because they're made for children, ostensibly, you gotta kind of spread things out a little bit. And I don't know that it's a game that I would have wanted to play all the way through, and I'm not going to play it all the way through just as my main game. It's a accompaniment.
It's a side game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I think it's really
cool,
cute and well written, and I do love it. It's very spontaneous, which is cool, and that's not unlike Lego, I guess.
Yeah, it looks incredibly charming. I'm excited to play. I haven't played through a Lego game, Colin, all the way through since PS2, I think.
Oh, wow. That's like the beginning of the Lego games.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm looking forward to playing it. It looks really jolly. I love Batman too, like you. I love the villains. Scarecrow's my favorite villain. So
yeah, Scarecrow's dope.
I love him too. I do like the Riddler a lot too. I love all those fucking funny games and shit like that. It's good stuff. Yeah, Batman has by far the best villains. It's not even close.
No, nothing comes close to it. That's what I was always like when I look at Superman or something. I'm like, where are the cool villains? Like to me, I'm like, I don't. It's a different world. Like he's not human basically. So he has to have like these more supernatural foes or like people with lots of money and means. And it's like, I don't know,
a rock that hurts him or something. Yeah,
right.
Kryptonite.
Fun.
All right, cool, dude. Yeah, I'm looking for it. I want to get to that game sometime. I just don't know when, but shout out. All right, let's end the show with some write-ins from the audience. Hashima Barakat wrote in, said, "Good day, summoners. What new things do you want to see added in Persona 6? Personally, I would like for them to leave the high school setting and have older protagonists, possibly each with a different background and profession. I doubt you played Persona 5X on mobile, you're correct, but it has a diverse cast of playable characters ranging from an elementary school girl prodigy to a 7-year-old grandma. Granted, they are cognitions of your social link characters that help you in a metaverse and don't play a role in the main story. I'll daydream about remasters of Eternal Sonata and Magna Carta 2 while I listen. Thank you for your great content. I wish you all a wonderful week." I think Micah likes that game, Eternal Sonata.
Yeah, she does. I never played it. That's a great game. It's very linear, but it's a really, really beautiful game, I think.
All right, what do you want, Persona 6? Colin?
I don't know that I'm the guy to really answer this question. I mean, I'm not a Persona super fan. I don't know. The one thing I will say is I thought that it is all about being in high school. Although maybe like you just go to college or something. Like
yeah, that's what I would like.
Yeah, keep it scholarly in some way, like make it collegiate or something. Or I was even thinking about like young adults out of college, but that's kind of what Catherine is. So I just feel like I think most people would not want that to change, I would imagine.
The school setting?
Yeah, I would imagine that would be like a bad idea for them to do that, in my opinion. But
sure. Yeah, I think it'd be funny, like you're out of college, you work at like a super mega corporation or some shit like that. You can introduce like different things within that corporation that you have to tackle.
Yeah,
like in Persona games, you take a school test or something like that, answer some questions. You can have that about like during a meeting or some shit. Someone asks you a question, you got to remember what they said or something. I don't know. I think that could be interesting. But school kind of is a core concept, or not kind of, it is a core concept of Persona. So I assume it will be. But I would like it if it was college. I think that's cool. But it's going to be high school again. That's just what it is. I don't know. Have you seen the leaks of it, Colin? Like the characters?
Yeah, I saw some of the stuff. Yeah, but
okay.
But I really don't have a learned opinion on it. I don't think my feedback on it would be very useful.
Yeah, I think maybe like how he was kind of saying characters that aren't all high school kids would be kind of interesting. That's one thing I liked about Metaphor was like all this weird variety of party members. I like that a lot. So maybe you can have a guy that's a fucking grocer or some stuff that's like 45. That'd be pretty sweet as your party member.
Yeah, I really liked Metaphor. And I was surprised actually because Sega just released new numbers, and I think it only sold 2.5 million copies, which is not bad, but it's no, I mean, it almost makes no sense for them to make games like that if they can just keep making Persona games.
Yeah.
I think Persona 5 Royal is at like 13 million or something.
Yeah, just Royal.
Yeah.
Yeah, Persona is a humongous franchise. I think Metaphor could maybe get there. Maybe. Well, maybe not close to it, but like better, I say. It's possible. They just refine it more and more.
Yeah, I would like to see them do more. I think I just wonder what the use of their like they seem to be kind of worried about things a little bit at Sega with some of the way that things are selling, like what they were saying about Sonic, for instance. It's like, yeah, maybe it might just be a bad use of resources.
Yeah, maybe. Well, yeah, hard to say. I do like Metaphor a lot too, so I would like to see them continue going down that route if possible as well. All right, let's see here. Natsuo Jimbo Ronan said, "Greetings, beautiful Brad and crusty Colin."
Oh,
damn. With both Star Fox and the upcoming Ocarina of Time remake, Nintendo finally seems to be jumping on the bandwagon of not just porting old games, but actually giving them a significant spruce up. Funny thing, they were one of the OGs doing that with Super Mario All-Stars.
Indeed.
No longer are we just seeing basic ports with higher resolutions. This time, Nintendo seems to be putting in the work for graphics and gameplay modification. Finally, now that Nintendo seems to be remaking their games with proper love and attention, what is your most wanted Nintendo remake? Star Fox was one of mine, and I know Ocarina of Time would be the answer for many other people. For me, the next best would be Perfect Dark. Yes, I know Microsoft owns the IP now. Yes, I know they already ported the game to Xbox 360. I'm talking a full remake from the ground up of the original using Unreal Engine. Local multiplayer included. Microsoft could release the game on both PC, Xbox, and Switch too. What would you like to see the Big N remake next? Smoke weed every day and keep on nutting.
Oh, I will.
Lots of love.
I don't know, man. Like you're right. I mean, like they've been remaking their games forever. I mean, even the Game Boy Advance ports of the Mario games were like, fucked with a lot. Like they put Link to the Past through the ringer for a little while. Like it's not, Nintendo really is like one of the OGs of doing it. I don't know. Like it's funny. Like the Ocarina of Time remake, of course, makes an enormous amount of sense. I'm just so skeptical of it. It's just there are certain things that are going to be fairly difficult to do right. Mm-hmm. But I believe in them. I mean, they remade Link's Awakening, and they basically did a proper sequel to Link to the Past. And I don't know. Nothing really comes to mind for me because I guess in a weird way, a lot of I love many Nintendo games, and they're all kind of the way I love them the way they are. I don't want them to do anything to them. An interesting remake, but would be Zelda 1, but I wouldn't want to be remade into this modern game. Just like redoing the graphics, I think would be really cool.
Yeah. What about Zelda 2?
I mean, I would love that for Zelda 2 as well. I feel like people have such a low tolerance for that game. It would be kind of a weird. Maybe it would give it new shine, and that would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
There are others like Earthbound. I don't even like Earthbound, but I know people care a lot about that game, and there's like some interesting things where I'm like, why are you guys so stubborn?
About like releasing Earthbound?
Yeah, like Mother 3 specifically, and just other things where I'm like, why are you so annoying? Like you could do whatever you want. People want this shit. It's a little weird sometimes the way they treat some of these products. I don't know. It would be cool for them to do some weird shit, like go make like Star Tropics or something, or some like obscure thing, and that just like they pull out of nowhere, and it almost feels like you wouldn't even have known it was an old thing.
Yeah.
But the idea of like a polished Zelda 1, I mean, they kind of did that with Metroid Zero Mission, I want to say.
Yes. Yep.
Which was kind of cool. So yeah, again, like they've been doing this forever. I don't know why. I mean, that's what Jimbo's saying. Like this is them jumping on the bandwagon, but they've been remaking shit forever.
They've been doing it for a long time.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know what I want them to remake, dude.
Like Mario 3.
Or-
Well, think about it this way, right? Like Wily Wars, right? Like the Mega Man, the Genesis ports
Yeah,
of Mega Man games.
yeah,
Like they're prettier, but they're not as good as the old Mega Man games. They don't feel right.
right.
And it's how I'd feel. It's like, yeah, you can make Mario 3 prettier, I guess, or something. And they
Mhm.
kind of did that with Super Mario All-Stars, but like you said, but at some point, the game you remember is the game you love.
Yeah, that's true. I'm trying to think that there's like a deep cut Nintendo game. You know what I would like to see is Wave Race. I
Yeah.
would love Wave Race to come back in some form
Yeah, Wave Race was cool. Wave Race
and
64.
see it. Yeah,
And
see
Blue
it like
Storm,
modern
or whatever
visuals.
what was that? Blue Storm?
Yeah,
on
Blue
GameCube?
Storm. Yep.
Yeah.
Never got another one, dude.
No.
Damn shame. I loved those games.
Yeah, they were
super
cool.
fun.
They were probably felt a little redundant. Like they had a lot of
Oh, they're very
racing.
like short arcadey games. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's like, yeah, we should focus our attention on the things people care more. I mean, even F-Zero ultimately fell off as well. Like because I think they were just these games are all different from each other. I just think they're kind of redundant as well in their portfolio.
Sure. Yeah. I wonder, dude, you know what one that a lot of people would probably go crazy for if they kept mechanically exactly the same would be Melee. They remade Smash Melee.
I just don't think they want to give anyone credit.
No,
yeah.
they definitely don't. They want you to forget about that game. They want that game dead.
It's weird.
Definitely. They're like, please move on. Stop playing this. That's what they're thinking.
I loved Brawl. Like I was even surprised when that came out, when I was like, why is everyone still playing Melee? Like Brawl is dope, but people just love it.
I had fun with Brawl. Yeah, I had fun with Brawl too.
I liked Subspace Emissary quite a bit.
Yeah. I mean, I had fun with every Smash Brothers game. All right. Let's see here. This is from Connor L. Hey, first a question. I have to set up on Spotify to get Sacred Symbols early and ad-free. Is it possible for this show too? Second, I've just been back playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Duelist of the Rose on PS2, and it's a game I know will never get ported. Do you guys have anything similar to that? All right, let's answer his first question, I guess.
I thought you can do that. I thought that they were just individualized RSS feeds.
Yeah, I have no idea.
I mean,
that's a Dustin question, not me.
Well, like we had a unified RSS feed, and then we obviously, like as people might remember, we split them up. By the way, I have a hole in my shirt as on both sides.
Nice.
Oh, it's not.
That's how you know that shirt's been through a lot.
Oh my God, I got the shirt in 2005 from 80stees.com when I was in college. So I think it is possible. We were in Spotify connectivity was a beta at one point, and I don't know if it was just for Sacred Symbols, but I think you just have to go into like your Patreon account and get the we can't share the RSS and Spotify links. They are randomly generated for you.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Okay. Any game that you would like that you know won't get a port or remake, Colin?
There's a million. I mean, it's a fucking million of them.
There's a million. Just pick like one.
Most of them, because I don't think anyone knows who owns some of this shit anymore, and like it would be difficult to do. We were talking about Sunsoft earlier, and I guess what comes to mind for me is a Journey to Silius. I brought up that game. Like that's an amazing NES game, and it was supposed to be a Terminator game. They lost the license to it very late, and so like you can see that they just changed things, and it like makes no sense. But that game's soundtrack is fucking outrageous. It was one of those games where I was like, damn, like as a kid, you know, where you're like fucking like. There was such a huge difference between NES quality of NES games, where it's like sometimes you get a game and you're like, this is amazing. You get a game like Metal Storm or something, and then you get a game like, I don't fucking know, like Three Stooges or something, and you rent that shit and you're like, what is this shit?
Dick Tracy, yeah.
You know, this like abject shit. It's so funny, and I love Codename Viper.
Batman Forever.
Oh yeah,
on Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
Awful.
Yep.
I remember renting that and being like, fuck. I hated renting a game and it was just bad, and you're like, fuck.
Yeah, it sucks.
I wasted my rental on this.
It sucks. And I felt like all the reviews back then, even in like the more independent magazines, were always like pulling punches.
Yep, definitely. A game that I would like to see brought back or ported or whatever that I know won't would be Phantasy Star Online, the original. I know there's like private servers for all that kind of shit, but I want like an official port of that would be wonderful. And also Hook from SNES. Shout out, dude. Love that game.
Love that movie.
All right. Yeah, good movie. All right. I Mike Zero Run said, hey, question mainly for Colin, but Brad, please chime in too. I've always appreciated Colin's love for Limp Bizkit. They're my favorite band, and I used to play Xbox with Fred Durst during the Gold Cobra
Really,
era.
that's interesting.
Long story.
Cool.
You can't bring that up and just say long story.
I'd like to hear that sometime.
Now that Xbox is focusing on just the hits, it's time to bring back Guitar Hero. If you could curate your own Guitar Hero game, what would be the theme? For me, a new metal focused game featuring Bizkit, Korn, Rage, and Crazy Town.
Crazy Town.
Were they new metal?
Yeah, they were. I mean, they were. Yeah, they were like
Okay.
a rap rock band. Yeah.
Okay. Now, excuse me as I exit stage left and do it all for the nookie.
It's funny. I don't think Rage is a new metal band. They're a rap rock band. It's like 311 is not a new metal band. They're a rap rock band. They're just different. It's not to say like I love new metal. It's not to say I don't want them to be. They're just not. A new metal like rap rock like late 90s, early 2000s Guitar Hero would be fucking sick. And I think there's like isn't there that Guitar Hero like thing on PC where you can put any song you want into
Rocksmith, I think.
No. There's like there's like a bootleg. Rocksmith is like the Ubisoft like learn how to play guitar thing. There's like a fairly popular thing I think where like you can just ingest any music you want.
That's probably true.
I think it's unauthorized, but I think people do it. I mean, it's clearly unauthorized. So like you could already make one of your own, I guess, at this point if you wanted to. It would be fun. I love new metal, and I love that new metal is like kind of, I don't want to say it's coming back, but like a lot of those bands are touring, and like I look at some of their. You go on Spotify and it shows how many like monthly listens they have or listeners they have, and it's like some of these are huge and they're just getting bigger. Like even 311, like in the rap rock bands, like I look at them and I'm like they're just getting bigger and bigger. It's so funny on Spotify. I'm like because they're touring, they're finding like this whole new group of people that like that kind of music. I've always unapologetically loved new metal. I was a perfect age for it. You have to understand new metal like. Things like Coal Chamber and like that first Limp Bizkit record.
Yeah.
And like I was in like 8th grade. You know, like you have to understand. I always make Michael laugh. I'm like, you have to understand that like when Significant Other came out, like Limp Bizkit's second record, I was like, I was like one shot by that thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I also loved a lot of other stuff. Like I love Stone Temple Pilots and I loved Bare Naked Ladies and I loved Ben Folds 5 and all. So I loved all sorts of other stuff during that era as well. But and Green Day and Rancid and some of the like kind of more punky, you know, mainstream stuff. But man, there's something about Static X. There's something about the Bloodhound Gang.
Yeah.
There's something about, I don't know, man, all these random, I was listening to Downset the other day, like some random Shovel. Oh my, but of course, like Slipknot, Mudvayne, Mushroom Head. Classics.
Yeah.
Classics.
Totally. Dude. Orgy, dude. Yeah. I was actually listening to Orgy like a week ago.
They're great. I had their first 2 albums.
Candy Ass.
In there. They had a follow up to it. I can't remember the name of that. But yeah, Candy Ass had like Stitches on it and that Blue Monday cover. I liked their whole style. I liked them a lot. But yeah. Shout out to new metal.
Yeah.
And Crazy Town. It's funny, man. Like there are some bullets I dodged, not because I knew they were bullets, but because I really just didn't like them. And I always talk about that with Kid Rock. Like I just didn't like Kid Rock. Now, if you like Kid Rock, more power to you. I knew people that like loved him, but like I was really into that type of like rap rock, and I just didn't like Kid Rock. So I don't hold that burden on me. And it's the same thing with Crazy Town, where like at the time I'm like I just don't really like these guys.
Yeah.
But they were huge. I mean, Butterfly was that huge song. They did have they released a record later called Dark Horse that had a song on it called Drowning. That was really good. And that's a true new metal song. And that is a great song actually. But and I think didn't the singer die? Or one of them? Shifty Shell Shock.
Shifty Shell Shock. Yeah, I don't know. For me, I would pick a metal one, but it would be like all like death metal and like black metal shit.
I didn't know you liked. I didn't know you liked like
oh,
where,
dude,
where they sing like
ooh. Yeah. Oh yeah, dude, Colin. I love heavy ass shit.
I didn't know you were like detuned guitars and like,
yeah, dude,
sludgy ass guitars and shit.
We're dropping the tuning huge. Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Dude, like in 1999 is when I started getting like really heavy music. That's when I like started junior high, and so kids from other schools I would meet that would all converge at the junior high, and I became friends with this guy named Brent Gonzalez. and his older brother, was friends with my brother, so we naturally just kind of became friends. And he introduced me to like a lot of heavy ass music. That's how I got into it, like Converge, Zayo, 18 Visions, stuff like that. Since then, I've been like a pretty heavy music enjoyer, I would say, for a long time.
I didn't know that.
Like,
That's interesting. That's like way too hard for me. Yeah, like I don't mind it. I just
I love
I think the hardest I go is like when I was a kid. Like when I started listening to that first Slipknot record or whatever, that first Mudvayne record or whatever, it's like that was about as hard as it got for me. Like some of the Deftones stuff, not from a vocal perspective. Later, I got into a little bit of harder things. Like I wear a Soilwork shirt sometimes that people notice. Like that's probably the hardest. Like Hatebreed, I liked a little bit at some point.
Okay. Sure.
Pantera is great.
Yeah.
But like, I don't ever get into like the detuned. Like I can't even do like the, like that kind of like I can't even. Yeah. It's like so funny. Like I think it's cool. I just oh
no,
I don't know dick about it. Like and you can rattle off a bunch of those bands that I wouldn't know any of them. So
like it'd be funny to have a Guitar Hero with like Cannibal Corpse in it. You've seen Ace Ventura, right?
Yeah, of course.
When he goes to, do you remember in the first movie where he goes to that metal show and it's Cannibal Corpse playing and he's like doing the fucking dance like it's like some jazz music or something to it. Yeah, it's like,
I wonder if he was a fan of theirs or something.
Yo, he was. Oh. Yeah, he actually was. I think that's how they're in the movie.
Yeah, I always like that kind of shit. Those kind of connections.
Yeah. See, I'd definitely do one with like Nile in there and all that kind of stuff. That'd fucking rule.
You should look into that Guitar Hero like bootleg thing. Because
that's cool.
I think it might run on Steam. I don't know where it runs. It might run on Steam, but yeah, like it's got to be unauthorized because like you can like obviously no one's getting licensing money for this.
I'm like decent at those games. I'm not super amazing at rhythm games. I'm okay. Whenever I play them, I'm like, man, I should just fucking learn to play the real thing at this point.
That's what Rocksmith was trying to do.
Some of it. I can't fucking or anything like that.
Play rhythm guitar or something.
Like shredding.
Yeah.
Let's see here. KB wrote in. Oh, I'm sorry. This is from Soulful Bison. Are there any mobile games that you personally endorse? The App Store contains the sloppiest of slop, but surely there are diamonds in the rough.
No.
Well, there was one that you liked, Plants vs. Zombies.
Yeah, and I liked Peggle and a few of the others, but not anything. I mean, honestly, I have no idea what's even going on mobile anymore.
I don't know, like modern ones. Back in the day, though, dude, I loved Angry Birds.
Yeah, Angry Birds was cool.
Fucking sick. Cut the Rope as well.
Cut the Rope, awesome. I forgot about that.
Cut the Rope was good shit.
Yeah,
Jetpack Joyride, also fun.
Yeah, I was very. It's very Colin. Like I was very annoyed by what those storefronts were doing to our space, and I like really just never gave those kind of games the time of day. Like we had I would roll my eyes at like mobile coverage at IGN and stuff. Like when we were trying to do that, I'm like, who gives a fuck? I had a lot of contempt for it, and it is kind of like an immaturity thing. But they really thought it was going to kill console gaming.
They did, yeah. I remember. Whoops, certainly didn't. Hasn't yet. We'll see though. KB wrote in and said, "Hey gents, so people think Sony is intentionally making its female protagonists look less attractive than their real life counterparts. And what the reason behind that may be. However, lost in the conversation is Jordan from Intergalactic, who looks like a 1-to-1 carbon copy of Tati Gabriella, the actress playing her. My question is this: are people picking and choosing which criticisms to levy against different character models? On one hand, gamers get furious when a character doesn't look exactly like their real life counterpart, but in the case of Jordan from Intergalactic, she might be one of the most accurate examples of an actress looking exactly like her digital scan, and yet people are still complaining. So is this the criticism, or is this criticism really about accuracy to the actress, or are people just working backwards from characters they already decided they don't like? What say you?
I mean, I think you know the answer, right? It's the latter.
I'll say it's, yeah. I would say it's both. Sony definitely has a thing of making females unattractive in some regards.
Yes,
and I don't know what that's about. I don't understand it. Like Mary Jane and Jean Grey is another example of that kind of stuff. Giving everyone the huge DEI chin. I don't get it. But like they were saying, the Intergalactic girl, she looks exactly like.
Well, yeah, that's why I was talking about with Tati Gabrielle specifically. Is like, yeah, like they just don't like her. They don't like the portrayal of her, so they're gonna make it seem like
they don't like that she has a buzz cut and that whole vibe. Yeah,
it's weird. So I So that's what I'm specifically talking about. Yeah, I think there is both. And yeah, I think Sony has made weird choices, and I do think it's conspicuous and strange. But I it's not that you can't have pedestrian looking, unattractive looking, normal looking people in games. You can have the most beautiful people in the world. It doesn't matter to me. I think it's more weird just when they don't look like, it's like you scanned this actor and you are obviously doing something to the model to make it look different. And that doesn't really make much sense to me. But I think people do have this aversion to like homely looking people and things. And I'm like, I just think that that's kind of I understand. It's like there are like unusual looking and even conventionally ugly actors, and people like because there are these roles that people play where it's like, this guy's strange, this guy like, or this guy's just a normal person, or like whatever it might be. Like I think, and I'm not trying to insult anyone's looks. I'm not a good looking person, I don't think, but like Steve Buscemi is one of those guys where it's like he's a very distinct looking guy. He's a wonderful actor and he plays these great roles, and it's texture, because like it's not all about having like, you know, Brad Pitt style people in every role or whatever the case might be. Very timely reference, Brad Pitt. And or Cindy Crawford if you're a woman. Very timely.
Very timely, dude.
Yeah, I'm so tired of this topic though, to be honest. Not your fault, KB. I'm a lot of people are tired of the AI topic. I understand that. I am tired of this.
Yeah. Well, I just don't. I don't know why you try to make characters look less attractive. I don't understand why. What's the point?
I don't know either. Just get an unattractive or less attractive actor and make the model look like that person.
Yeah, it's very weird to me, but it is what it is, I guess. Okay, final writing here. Jenny Talia wrote in and said, "Howdy, boys. Question for Colin. Do hard to achieve platinum trophies factor into your decision making when selecting a game to play? Had a look over my list, and I have only platinumed one game, Cuphead, that could be considered difficult. Trying a few notoriously difficult titles like DMC5, Bloodborne, and I found it opens up the game way more than a general playthrough, DMC5 in particular, to max out the moveset and discover creative ways to keep the S rank up. Love the show. Cheers from Australia."
Yeah, I mean, Cuphead's a notoriously difficult platinum to get. So, I mean, if that's your only platinum trophy, it's arguable that
it's a nice platinum.
Yeah, I have 212, I think, at this point, and I think that's harder than any one I've ever gotten. I mean, I think I only have probably a handful that are in that category. So that's pretty serious stuff. I didn't know DMC5s was considered difficult, but I don't play those games. Bloodborne's is not that difficult. It's just time consuming. I have most of the trophies in Bloodborne, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, it factors in. It's funny. Like there's a barometer on how I feel about games where it's like it just doesn't. The trophies don't matter. Like I'm going to play the game. Like that's true for a lot of first party stuff. Like when Intergalactic comes out, it's like whatever. And then there are games where I'm like, I don't really want to deal with this trophy list, and I don't really care very much about this game. There are other games I care about equally, and those games have more attractive trophy lists or things that are more fun for me to do, and I will make decisions based on that. Yeah, but like there's a class of game that come out where it's like, it doesn't matter, I'm going to play this game. Like, and they come out they come out constantly. I mean, I think Resident Evil Requiem was one of those games. Pragmata was one of those games. Death Stranding 2 last year was one of those games where it's like, it is what it is, and I'll figure it out. And then there are games that I've made, like Pragmata was one of those examples where I made the playthrough easier for myself by using a spoiler-free collectibles walkthrough to make sure I wasn't missing anything. But then when I played 007, I didn't use one of those because I was like, I didn't. Pragmata is not really about the story for me. I mean, it's cool, but it's just fun to play and be there. But 007 is much more about story and character. So I was like, even though I know I'm going to have to play all this again, I'm going to do it without a walkthrough because I just want to play it. So you have to make those like one-off decisions. I don't really treat all games equal, and from my own perspective, like there are some games where I'm like, I'm playing this with headphones on. Yeah, like I'm literally going to listen to a podcast while there are games I play where I have my headphones connected to the DualSense and I'm listening only to the game through headphones because I'm so immersed in it, and everything in between.
Yeah. Yeah, to me, like trophies are just kind of like a nice bonus. It's not necessarily going to decide what I play, but if the game is really fun, maybe I want to go for those trophies. I only go for platinums for games I'm like having a really good time playing usually. But that's just me. That's why I only have like 30 something.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Not many.
I mean, it's more than most people. It's very normal.
Yeah. Alrighty, Colin. That's it. We're done.
Cool, dude. That was fun. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, that was fun, dude. Good shit. Thanks for joining me on a Saturday. Appreciate it.
You're very welcome. It's my pleasure.
Getting dinner time for you guys pretty soon.
Yeah, I don't know what Mike is doing there. I know she wanted to make sloppy joes at some point. Basically, we had people over, this past weekend for Father's Day, and we're swimming in like leftover buns. So throughout the week, we've just been like slowly trying to get through these buns. Like we bought cold cuts and we're having sandwiches with them, and I think she's like, let's do sloppy joes. I'm like, that's a good idea. We had burgers, so.
It's good.
So yeah, I'm gonna go work. It's almost 6:30 here. I'm gonna go work out and then settle in for
hell yeah
for a night of whatever. I don't know.
Cool. Yeah, man.
Chicanery.
Enjoy your evening.
Thank you. You too.
Chicanery. That's a great Colin word.
Yeah,
like
it
that
is.
Word. It's a good one. All right, everybody. We're out of here. Thanks for watching and listening. Appreciate it. See you next week, everybody. Take care and goodbye.
Bye.
Summon Sign is a product of Last Stand Media and Colin's Last Stand LLC and is proudly recorded in the USA. The show is written and hosted by me, Brad Ellis. The show is produced by Dustin Furman. All of Last Stand's theme music is by Ramon Nivarez. Summon Sign, along with the rest of Last Stand's media shows, are fan-funded on Patreon at patreon.com/laststandmedia. The following names are at the producer level on Patreon, our highest tier, and we are grateful for your kind contribution and generosity to our independent endeavor. Thank you.